Oh, okay.
So those are just considerations that I think need to be brought up. Forgive it for marking that out.
Right.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Fund balances.
Do we need any?
Got them?
That's not,
We can
Mary?
forgive it.
Fund balances?
okay.
We can forgive it.
Oh, wait, I did. I took it on privacy. Did you hit
Oh,
the?
that's my trash. What, Jim?
Yeah.
I haven't recorded it yet, Jim. No.
Is it on?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Get started out.
we want to welcome Janine today. Thank you for coming, Janine.
Thank you, Janine.
It's been a long time.
Thank you for saving me a seat. I was here last time, Jim.
So let's go through the fund balances, and
course
as
you
we
did.
go through, chime in, questions, comments, whatever. County General looks pretty good. Economic Development, the special purpose, that's the library. Community Corrections, Cume Capital, Cume Bridge, down to the health, then the health first. And lit public safety and rainy day, all looks good. Page 2, down in the middle, statewide E911 is continuing to go down. Then we've got the 3 lits. Again, with the lit PSAP is going down. Page 3, animal control violations. We had a little income there. Then the allocation fund, the 4616, that's the main fund, the main TIF. And then the GEO bond proceeds, 2021 GEO bond, and then the Mount Comfort West and the Hancock County TIF number 1, 22 GEO bond for E911. And then the 22 GEO bond for us have still a lot of balances shown in them, but I'm told they're spent. 23 bond, then the Hancock County TIF number 2, and then 4,700 is the new self-insurance. That's the liability insurance line, and then 4,908 is the EDA payments. Page 4, the 2 health claims funds, 5901, 5902. And that would be the total amount available now, right? We're doing a total. So if you look at that, it's going to be, looks like touch and go that we'll have enough to finish out. Then the last one, 7201 is food and beverage. Page 5 are grants. Didn't see anything unusual there unless somebody does. And page 6, same thing, grants. So, and we've got a total ending balance of cash of $105 million. Any comments or questions?
If you're gonna say how much money we have at the total ending balance, you gotta say how much money we've spent. Spent 214 million.
Okay, good. Good.
Yes. So we spent twice as much what we have left already.
I want to ask Janine something about the liability insurance. I know probably what the answer is, but is that the kind of fund, since it's different than some of our other funds maybe, is that the kind of fund that the money will roll over and we can add to it? Good.
It's non-reverting.
Okay.
Yeah, and between the sheriff and I, we got a pretty good handle on watching our claims, and as you can see, we've only Year-to-date since March 11th, spent out of that line 11,000 and change, so we're
I
in
was
good
hoping
shape.
it was.
And then next year, we'll have another fund in there, the Senior Services Fund, I believe. Now we're taking that out of food and beverage, but it will have its own fund next year. Have we gotten in, since the last month, any input? Okay. I did check with.
They've not gotten their funding.
Pardon me?
They've not gotten their federal funding.
Yeah.
So
I was talking to Miriam, and she said that they're saying that the feds are slow paying the state, but it will come, according to,
And if it
Before-
doesn't, we'll have to have that tough conversation then.
yep.
We briefly touched on that yesterday.
Pardon me?
We briefly touched on that yesterday
Oh,
during Gary Poole's.
oh, did you? Okay, good. Okay. Well, did he have any forecasts for what it's actually, I mean, we're using 600,000. That was a number for a year ago. We never got an updated number for this.
Still about the same.
About
We
the same.
didn't particularly touch on that topic,
Okay.
but my assumption is it's still right there, and that
Okay.
depending on what the federal funding comes down to, I hope it's what they say it is.
Okay.
Those
Was
are
it
the
40 to
conversations.
50%?
We'll have to have conversations with the city of Greenfield too, if that's the case.
Yep. Will you be doing that? Will you be doing that?
I'm sure that the commissioners will work with Gary
With
Poole to
Greenfield.
get all that, you
Okay.
know.
Okay,
But
great.
he does report that every commissioner meeting, that whether it is here or not.
Okay, great. Second on the agenda is just to review the 2026 budget, and Mary ran the summary of numbers. It's in your package. It didn't, by email. You want to pull that out? And if you look at county general, where we stand right now with the 26 budget is an increase of $2,249,000, like $140. So we're like 2.2 million. And if you recall, we were trying to hold that to like 1.1 million. And I assume part of this is the 27 pay, is it, Mary?
There's 920,000 of the 27 pay, and then there was an additional 900 for the bond, for 2025.
Well,
Oh.
I wasn't thinking about that being as part of the payments of deficit that we were trying to whittle on, but the bond payment is in that as well, the first bond payment. What I was told.
What bond?
The bond we're going to be closing on, I assume, the 2025.
I thought he was looking at the overall budget. You
No,
were just
county
talking about-
I'm looking at the overall budget. There's no bond in there, I don't think.
Okay,
No.
I'll back up too.
How
then.
much is the 27 pay, just round figure?
It was 927
Okay.
total, and that's with FICA, perf, and everything combined.
Okay.
Is that about right? 920, no. 97,000.
Okay.
I'm looking at my
So
sheet.
Greg, you can feed that into your hopper. Do you have any comments on that, on the 26 budget?
No, not at this point in time.
Oh.
Next on the agenda is Bernie. Bernie?
Boy,
Well, good morning. I feel like I'm going to the lion's den right now, so.
we're not that bad. We're the old tame.
If you're asking for money, the answer is,
Yeah.
you're correct. You-
I'm in the lion's den.
You're asking
Well,
for anything else,
I
you're not.
am asking for an additional person. There's a state regulation that we have to transmit all meetings in this room, and the commissioners have asked me to provide a person to actually mediate the meetings and to fix any problems that are going on in the meeting. So we have meetings all times of the day, evenings, so forth and so on. So I need a person that can be flexible to do that. And my guys are working during the day now, and it's just kind of, we don't have overtime, so we can't schedule that in. So I need it's called a media technology specialist, someone that can handle any type of media that we need to work with. And they're not cheap. And they range from like $34,000 up to $250,000 for a media specialist, depending on what they're doing. We wouldn't need anything real fancy.
I'll do it.
I know, I'm taking the job.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about big corporations that they're handling different medias,
What's up for you?
but I need someone that we can actually do that. If I know we're not supposed to be hiring new people, but we're kind of in a situation that we need to do something, so.
It's a full-time position that
It
you're
would be a
asking for?
full-time position.
I had heard the number 60,000 floated around. Is that close to what
That
you're
would be
thinking?
close to what we would want, yeah. Yeah.
Is it possible, I mean, have you added up how many hours worth of meetings are in an average month? And would it be possible to look for a contractor?
To do that,
I've got a calendar here, and it's pretty scary.
I know it's a lot of hours, and,
But it's less than 30.
And I will
Well-
say, I worked with Bernie for ever.
long time.
30-plus years, and he's always been very conservative financially. I used to get on him that he needed to ask for more money because he didn't really have enough money to function. So I can't imagine he'd ask that without really
Well,
needing
I
it.
wouldn't only use them for that. I'd be using them for other things. I wouldn't just,
Yeah.
because.
They'd have their
guys,
job
if-
duties.
If I've got the resources, I'll use it, so.
Yeah.
It's not, wouldn't just be media, it'd be other
That's
things too, so.
When would you like to hire this person, if you got them soon? Like right yesterday?
Well, I think,
I think before we get involved in a lawsuit, because we don't do things right with our videoing that we're requested to, it would probably be sooner than later.
Don't you still have empty spots?
I do.
Okay, so it's gonna be hard to fill a position anyways, I would guess.
As a matter of fact, I had a guy who was to start yesterday and didn't show up, so.
Okay.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
So,
Well, you made your request.
That's my request is a media person,
yeah,
so.
I'd like for us to have a discussion about it, though, to decide if we're going to move forward on this. As he said, this is a new thing that's come about. It's not something that has been in his purview forever. And as it's been said, there is legislation and laws put in place that we are now required to do this, and we need to make sure that we are doing it properly and correctly. So I think it's probably something we should do.
Well, one of the other things too, is it really the role of the auditor's office to provide a person to do that for our meetings? Or is it really the role of the planning department to provide that person to do that? And what happens is you get with these folks, they're really good people. They're not properly trained. They turn things on when they shouldn't. They turn things off when they don't. The next thing you know, we've got stuff out on social media, and like I said, it's just a matter of time before someone finally says, hey, I think we'll file a lawsuit. So,
For me, I mean, I don't know if we need a media specialist, but I do know that IT department needs more people. So if he says this is someone that, because I hear complaints from
Yeah.
other departments, oh, I wish we had more IT people,
Yeah.
wish we had more IT people. So if this is somebody who can help in other areas and also help alleviate the other people up there, then it's somebody that we need.
and an additional thing is, while you're having your meetings here, they shouldn't say, Councilman Woolridge, will you come up and run social media or run the media platform for us? None of us should be responsible for that.
Right.
I think we really need to have somebody that's in these meetings full-time, watching over us. So if there's an IT issue that one of you or us have, or people using media, because I'm not really a fan of other people coming in from outside of our realm, attaching their devices to ours for just security reasons to do that. And I can tell you, I'm not as versed in IT as most folks, and I want to be able to point to somebody and say, hey, can you fix that, get on it? Sure, because it ain't gonna be me.
So,
Can we reduce spending someplace else to make room for it?
Have a suggestion?
No, I don't. But we're at
Say we did a lot.
2 million and we're gonna just add another 100,000.
Could we, could we look between now and next
pay.
meeting for somewhere to take it?
Sure.
I mean, I think that's gonna be a lot cheaper than potential lawsuits. I mean, we gotta pull that money from somewhere if we get sued multiple times.
And
So,
we are self-insured, so there's that.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't disagree on anything
take it out of
Bernie's saying.
self-insured
but
insurance.
Yeah, just mathematically, could we find,
Where?
somewhere to cut something to absorb it? Because we are so far over where we said we were gonna end up for next
Well,
year.
you could make a motion today with the caveat that, you know, we will approve this position and where we will pay it from is forthcoming,
This will give him the ability to start looking if we give him a,
sooner versus later.
right.
Well, if this is the same as insurance, is what they're saying, you gotta have this, because then why don't we take it out of the $500,000 self-insurance pay fund?
Is that allowable?
Can't, you just got to look from the sheriff's bank here.
We can take it from food and beverage for a year, but.
I don't.
Yeah, we do that all the
yeah,
time.
I don't know that we
That's
could
just-
But that's not
legally take it
sustainable.
from that.
Well, no,
But,
and I'm, yeah,
We
no.
could,
Yeah, it's not sustainable.
we could.
Too real. If we're going to do it, let's figure out where we want to fund it from.
Because if it's like
Yeah,
most
I'm
jobs,
sure
it's
it will
gonna grow.
help our rates, wouldn't you
Take it out of
think,
community
Brad?
corrections.
Help
I would
control
say
our
as of right
self-insured
now,
rates.
I mean,
when
we're
we come
almost
up
to the end of
for
the year.
renewals.
We could fund it out of general
It can't hurt
for the
it.
rest of the year and then have a discussion
Another
between now and the end of the year as to
eliminating
where we
risk
want
pie,
that
yeah.
to continue through in
Another piece of
26.
risk elimination.
It's not gonna be,
Because then we're gonna start here in 25.
yeah,
I would-
but
As soon as he can find someone
it
now.
might
So do
take
we
him a
just need
month.
to thumbs up it?
Well, we
or
need
do
a
an actual
motion. We
need a
need a motion
You have to have a
first.
motion to
So-
add,
I think that we could fund it through the general fund for the rest of this year, because we're only talking a few months. By the time you get them hired, it'll could maybe
Right,
only
it
be
may not be
a
until
couple.
November before you get
And then that gives us some time between now and the end of the year to decide where we want to plug it in permanently.
they're not eligible
already-
for health insurance
we've
the
already
first day they
advertised our
start
budget.
either. I mean, it takes
30 days.
Greg,
a while,
Yes.
any
We
great
advertised our budget. We
ideas
can't change
about where
but they're not
outside of general
the first day they start.
you could
anyway.
justify meeting this legal need?
Keely, I think what we need to do is take Janine's suggestion and approve, if the position's approved, then we need to review where we can pay for it from, because I'm sorry, this is a surprise to me.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared either.
Yeah, and so we need, I'm sure we can
It's on the agenda.
find
I can read.
something
Oh, yeah, this
so we
one's-
get to 2028 when we introduce our new lit.
Please,
Can I
no.
ask a question?
Okay.
We are gonna swap some things around with the lit. And in this position, is it actually tech, or is it?
It'd be IT, yeah.
It's
Is
tech.
it
It'd be
tech or
and admin, administrative too.
Okay, so
It's a combination.
It's not something that we could tuck into because we're gonna be doing some moving around of tax revenue.
Let me ask,
Strategic move is 911
Right.
and jail lit. So I don't believe this would fit into either unless Bernie is ready to certify that will.
Okay.
Bernie, I got a question for you. You said you have an open full-time position now?
I have 2 open positions.
2 open positions now? So in adding this full-time person that will have some work time in excess of being at the meetings, could they absorb some of what one of those 2 have previously done, and could one of those be a part-time, one of the open ones?
No, not the ones I have open, because I'm looking for more
Different skills?
different skills.
Okay.
The 2 positions that you said are open, have they been funded all year?
Yes.
And just been sitting there?
Yes.
So could we not, so there should be a chunk of money.
Well, we could take part of that, yeah.
Yeah, there
and,
should be a
yeah.
chunk of money sitting there that
For
wasn't
this year.
spent.
For
And
this year.
finish this year with it. And then again, we can figure out for '26, a permanent path for it.
Well,
What?
if I may, is the lack of filling the position, the people or the salary?
People. Salaries, I think the salaries is good, what we have, so.
We don't have to increase it in 26 to get a person. Okay, so that's good news.
Just the availability of the
Just
skill
availability.
sets.
Right.
So how about a motion to
I
fill
think-
the position, and we will find out where to finance it later?
I'll second.
Oh, I didn't make the motion.
Oh, I thought
You're
you were-
making the motion.
Were you not done?
You make the
He
motion.
doesn't want to make the motion.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll make a motion that we fulfill this position as of today. He can start on that. And that in 2026, we will decide where we're going to permanently place this position, what fund.
Second.
That work?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank
Carries.
you, I
And we're
appreciate
gonna-
it. Okay.
We're going to look at that position at around 60,000 a year.
Yeah.
If it changes, but it's around 60,000. Okay.
Oh, yeah, thanks for clarifying that.
Okay.
Yeah, up
Thank you.
to.
Yeah. The shortfalls we know about, Greg, you want to address them, the jail lit and the E911 lit, we know are coming up.
Sure, so you asked me to focus on the second one, so if you take one and pass it around.
Sure.
Okay. And there'll be a second one then on the PSAP, if you'll take one and pass that around.
I'm good.
Okay, so I'll focus on the first one, which is the jail lit. The way I understand it at this point in time, we're having 3 basis points go to jail lit and 2 basis points going to PSAP. So I'm going to start on the one that says jail lit. Hopefully there's enough to go around.
Yes.
Okay.
One's jail, one's PSAP.
So at the top is the debt service fund. At the, right below that is the operations fund. I want you to focus in on the operations fund and focus in on 2026. If you notice, the revenue in that fund is going from 1.5 to 2.6. The reason is that's the 3 basis points. We've put the 3 basis points in operations, okay? And if we didn't do that, then obviously the 427 at the recommended budget of 2758, or the requested budget of 2758, we'd be $1 million behind. And that's what we saw in the preliminary numbers, okay? And so keep in mind, there is some available in the debt fund, but also keep in mind, and for the commissioners, we were going to have a meeting on this Friday about the maintenance garage, but it's my understanding the numbers aren't available, so we're going to suggest that be pushed back till next week so that we get the numbers and we're able to see how it fits into this schematic design here. But what we've done is, say in the debt service area, that we would try and pay cash for the maintenance building and not incur any additional debt, okay? But not knowing the number, I don't know if that's going to work or not. I also told you that if that doesn't work, then we would try to do a 5-year bond anticipation note or something like that. So we've got the whole increase going down here into the operations.
But before putting in that added lit, the 2027 number was going negative, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So
Because
that's,
keep in mind, we don't have a lot, yeah, as you can see, there's not a lot of balance.
okay. So to back up a little bit, let's say we didn't increase the lit for jail. Could we shift some of the debt part down to operations? Is that an option?
Well, again, Jim, we're trying to fund the maintenance building
Okay,
out of the debt fund.
okay, so we're using it there?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
And
Just to
again, I
clear
don't
that up.
know that number quite yet. I've got a budgetary number, and I think it's going to work, but, you know,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so that and the details are behind it on what you have approved. So on the PSAP, this second document
Okay,
then,
but back on the jail again.
Okay.
So you're
Questions on
saying that if we do the 3 basis point increase, the jail lit operations will be okay going forward? Of money in the debt side for the, for other buildings out there? That's kind of the bottom line, right?
it'll be okay as long as in '27, we don't exponentially increase the
sure.
2.7.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
And then we'll make it to 28,
Yeah, okay, all right,
okay?
okay.
But it is, there isn't 3 basis points coming off of debt service.
No, we're not removing anything from,
It's coming off the library.
Special service, well, it's not really it's called
Yeah,
special services
special
in the,
services.
in the lit pie,
Yeah.
which funds the library, but it's called special services. That's where it's 3 and 2, it'll be 5.
So it would come from somewhere, it wouldn't just be net additional 3 bips.
now, wait a minute. Maybe I don't understand what was just said. So this is the correctional facility lit, okay? That was, so we have part of it going to debt service or the capital, and we have part of it going to the operations. We are, it is my understanding, adding 3 basis points to the jail lit.
Coming from the special purpose lit.
Oh, gotcha.
where
So
she's going.
coming
Where's it
from
coming
the
from?
Yeah, it's coming from
special
special-
purposes,
yeah,
that's
special
going to be reduced.
Yeah,
It's not just a net additional.
it's not
3
an
bips.
additional.
No.
Okay, that's all I wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
Are
we've
you
never.
asking me to raise taxes,
No,
is what I'm
no,
asking?
no.
Okay,
He's
I
kind
wasn't
of
even on the
jumping
same page with
ahead
you.
here,
Yeah.
saying this is the way
Okay,
not to
that's-
raise taxes,
that's
but
all.
take care of the jail.
Okay.
It really, remember, my recommendation is, from now on, you're going to have to look at it annually anyways, okay? So we may, you know, if something occurs, we may change it next year. But, and then after that, the law will require you, unless SB 2 changes it, SB 1 kind of requires you to look at it every year.
So what you're saying is that all of it's going to go into operations, not, it's going to go into jail lit, but the operation's going to get the 3 base points and the debt service is not going to get any of it.
That is what I'm recommending 8:30 today.
Okay.
Subject to, you know, the certain things that are coming on the maintenance facility and things
Okay.
like that. Sure. Yeah, so I got to qualify it.
Thanks for being so confident.
You're welcome.
Okay. But the basis for what you're recommending here in both cases is that we go ahead with the 5 basis points reduction in the special fund for the library, and we split it between the jail lit and the PSAP lit.
Correct, and we should say libraries. Now, we are subject to, we are also a little bit subject to, I don't know, I know Hancock County Public Library is not going for excess levy appeal. I don't know if the other library is going for an excess levy appeal.
Right there.
Okay, are you doing an excess levy appeal, how much? Okay, so that's immaterial as far as the whole, I'm gonna grab the water, as far as the whole percentage. So you should be fine. No problem.
Okay, so the PSAP is where the problem is.
Okay, now, any other questions on jail?
No.
Okay, so then on PSAP, This is where we put the other 2 basis points. So that's why the revenue increased from 1,555 to 2,359. And it's a 50% increase in the funding. Okay, so, the 2 basis points, because we're at 4 basis points right now. So at this point in time with the requested budget of 1,833, and you can check me on that, Mary, but I believe that's the correct number. And since we've been helping you put the entire budget together, then this should be okay at this point in time. At the end of 26, we're coming to a 1.122. Now, if John mentioned some additional appropriations that he was coming in January, obviously I don't know about those, and I have not taken those into account. But so this is, again, where we would, if we increase it a little bit in 27, the budget, then we will make it to 28, which the ball game changes.
Just out of curiosity, the minimum fund balance at 10%, is that just your recommendation, or is that like a state recommendation?
That's
target.
the minimum fund balance. Our recommendation's always been 20 to 25% to match your peer group in your S&P ratings.
So where's 10% come from? Or you're saying that's where we're going to be?
That's what we're saying. You would not want to go below that. Yeah. So that is our opinion of where you wouldn't want to go below. Because surprises happen,
Yeah.
as we heard moments ago.
On the S&P ratings, they check all the funds?
They'll check what's called liquidity funds, Keely, and that is, the liquidity funds is whatever the analyst wants to call liquidity funds on the day they do it.
Okay.
And whatever we suggest is liquidity. But this is an operations fund, so it is one they would look at.
So now, the original, or sliding kind of into the next unit here, the original request, I thought that we were making for the split up of that 5 basis points was 2 basis points for the PSAP and 3 for our lit economic development. But you're saying we ought to, then putting that in economic development, we need to put it in jail.
That is correct, because when we put the proposed budget or requested budget in, we became negative.
Right.
And we were going to make that up with the debt service fund. But it makes so much sense that if we can not incur a bond issue for the maintenance facility and cash flow that, then we're saving, obviously, the taxpayer cost and, making it most efficient.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's put it this way, made a lot of sense to me. And my group.
I know.
Yeah. So that
Takes me a while to catch up with you.
well, that's why we're talking about it.
So
And
now it has a purpose, and it'll save us money from things we've already started.
Exactly.
And before it was going to economic development, we didn't have an end game yet.
yeah. Now we have, I've got to get with Gary at some point in time from the commissioner's standpoint, because the MVH fund and that looks like it's being hit really, really hard. And so there's going to be, I have some concerns initially on that. We may, if he ends up spending his entire appropriation in 25, we may have to shore it up in the future if no more additional revenue comes in. So, stay tuned.
And I know that John Jocantis is making his case, and he doesn't need to come up because I know the case. He started out with 4 basis points and now down to 2.5. So if we give him 2, he's going to say that he needs a little bit more. But there is one person that he probably in the future is going to ask for, and that he's counting in on that. But maybe it makes sense when that comes about that expense would go to the RDC. So.
And again, I can't probably say it enough. If we're switching these revenues and trying to make things work, annually reviewing it is something we got to keep in mind.
The jail operations, does it account for the 27th pay falling off in? You know what
I don't know what you mean.
what I mean is, and the reason I was getting so in the weeds on the 27th pay is that that number should fall back out of the budget in 27 by the nature of not having a whole nother pay period paid. And so I was just curious, I mean, that would give some buffer if this is compounded with the 27th pay number in mind going forward.
Yeah, I'm going to say,
Buffer?
first of all, the payroll's not that much in there.
In his,
In the jail operational, at 1,010,010, so it might be slightly higher on page 143 than it should be. The key is, we've got over 500,000 utilities in there, the service agreements, and things like group insurance and things like that. So the majority of that, so it might be 50,000, Keely, but it's.
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know how much that was payroll.
Yeah.
Well, the whole time I've been here, John Jacantis has been warning us that this would happen with E911. So I knew that day was coming. The jail operations was new information. But did that come about because it was always coming about, or is it because of some changes?
Again, when we ran the requested budget of 2.7 million, that it was over the 1.5 that was coming in on an annual basis back on page 141, and it became Mr. Obvious because those numbers were all negative. So.
Well, I think we started shifting some of the expenses
Into it. That's my question, was kind of
that's
like,
what
where
we've
did we
been
go
doing.
so far?
yeah.
It was the insurance and moving
It
all
didn't
that
start with
into
it.
the fund. Okay.
Making it, if you remember, it several years ago, it wasn't paying any utilities. And, we have a separate meter and everything. So it was like, pay for the utilities out of there. And again, keep in mind, what I said is we're on our flight path to 2028. Whatever you install in lit may have to be reinstalled, in the future. So it's going to get difficult.
And so the assumption here is that the request for the change in lit goes through, and Scott's not here today, and I know he was late in getting that request into the DLGF. Do you know where that stands?
No, sir, I do not.
How late?
Pardon me?
How late?
I don't know. I don't know.
That could be a major problem?
I don't know that
I don't know.
what it was. You had said, I think, or somebody had said from the start that it had to be in by like July the 30th, and
Well,
so
they do
we were
take,
targeting to get in by August 1st, and it didn't get in.
Yeah,
So
they have
what
been,
does that mean? I
we're
don't know.
doing this in a lot of places. They have been taking their 30 days and sometimes even 45 days at the DLGF to review changes like this. And so the answer is, and they're very, very detailed. If you have a word that's misplaced, they'll throw it back at you and you have to start again. So that is the concern.
So the request to move those basis points is still sitting with The DLGF waiting on approval, is that what you're saying, basically?
Mary, I believe so. I guess I would ask that we need to check with Scott. We haven't been double following it over him. He has been having the contact directly, so.
But that initial request was just to say, we intend to do this. And then that there's a separate due date for actually submitting how many basis points and where they're going and all that?
Again, you got to get it done by a certain date, and you back up from there. But if DLGF takes, 90 days, you're going to be too late. Or if it gets thrown back at us and we can't get it turned around, there are issues. But at this point in time, we'll keep working forward.
So your assumption is that it's still timely as far as you know?
That is our understanding at this
yeah.
point in time. Yeah.
Yeah. But we don't really know because Scott's not here.
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot of
so
things.
we need to make sure maybe he comes to our next meeting with a hard
Yeah.
conversation about where it is and where it
The
stands.
council meeting, yeah.
You've got your council meeting coming,
Yes,
right?
next
So
week.
that would be the most timely.
Yeah, do you want to call him, or I'll call him and say? I'll
Go
call him.
ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Because if we got the shaft this year, then what happens? I mean, you can't just move money into these funds, right? We can't just move money into jail operations. We would
Well,
just have to move
I
expenses.
guess my easiest answer would be, I used to watch Star Trek a lot. Scotty, we have a problem, or Houston, we have a problem, or a challenge. We're going to have
I
to
thought you were going
look
to
at.
get beamed up.
Yeah.
That's more than right.
That's the easy solution.
Yeah, but Scotty beamed me up.
All right,
No,
we won't worry about that till that happens.
yeah.
Okay. So while you're up there, the proposed max levy appeal? Why don't we
Sure.
hit
So
that?
we put that resolution, we put together a draft resolution. We're not attorneys. We don't act, we don't try and act as attorneys, but I did watch a law course on TV once. And so we put this together. We would recommend you obviously have your attorney look at it, but this is the 3-year growth factor, just like the library said they qualify. So you qualify for one. As you know, we also qualified last year, and we qualified the year before. We got turned down the first year. We got okayed the second year. And here is what I understand to be the final possibility of this, because it is my understanding SB 1 has torpedoed this, and it will not be available in the future. Okay? So last chance, so we need this resolution to begin the process. It's a 3-year growth factor, and then we would like to know from council how you would like to explain it. I think the whole thing would be, I think it's going to be critical that we're trying to keep up with salaries and, and technology salaries and that kind of thing. And, there's a 50-50 chance probably if we get it, because they're going to take a very, very detailed look at it. They're going to look at your cash balances. They're going to look at everything. And so,
We need to try, right?
that's what I'm saying. And then, it would add to the tax rate possibly. We don't know, because net assessed valuation, unless you've got it as of 8:30 this morning, we don't know what that's going to be. We do have a strong growth in our income taxes. The latest information was 11.7% increase. And so, we could also then, if we got this, we could also not take it all. And so we can do that, but, it's the last chance, and you know,
So
They
if you
only
don't
give you
take
4%
it
of your
all,
growth.
you said they squashed it. If you
We
don't
grew
take it all,
18%
does that
last year.
leave it, leave the excess for the following year, or you're just done?
I'm going to say maybe, maybe not.
Okay.
That's jury still out.
Why would we not take it all?
If you didn't like the tax rate impact.
Okay.
Okay, once we got the 1782 and got final net AV, we're hoping for a really strong net AV. And so, you know, if we get that, Mary, you know how that works. Tax, if AV goes up, tax rate goes down. And so, you know,
I
that's,
anticipate our AV going up. I'd be shocked if it,
yeah. I've heard some strong numbers. Now, remember that in the future, the residential is going down 6 to 8% each year.
So I think we ought to go ahead and pass this resolution. If Scott doesn't like it, he can rewrite it and we'll pass it again.
okay.
That's fine, yeah, I do too.
All
Your
right.
justification does not need to be in this document, correct?
No, ma'am, it will be in the detailed filing because there's a detailed filing that goes along with this.
Well, before we vote on this, I'm on the fence on it because we just did it last year. And I know if I say no and against it, I'm pretty sure DLGF's going to look very down on that and say, yeah, we shouldn't do it. So I think, for me, I'd like to have more discussion. It doesn't have to be today. It could be privately with me, I don't care. But,
Well, it has
because
to be
I don't
public.
understand. I mean, I think the taxpayers are getting tired of being taxed to death. And that's the problem with you keep doing these things.
Well, let me point out one thing.
That's my
This is
concern
it.
is what the public's saying about it.
I don't know at what percentage of folks are at their tax caps countywide, but one thing worth considering is if people are at their caps, you know, we can appeal or not appeal, they're probably gonna hit their caps amongst all the taxing units. Our cut of what they're gonna be taxed anyways is, am I explaining?
Keep going, keep
Yeah.
going, you're doing
Our
good.
Yeah, I don't think it
cut
increases.
of what they're gonna
I
be
think it's-
taxed regardless, how much we get versus the city versus this versus that. In some cases, the residents won't pay more. We will just be allocated a higher percentage of what they're paid. Now, that won't apply to people, you know, people who aren't at their tax caps.
Right, like
It-
myself and most people.
It could potentially increase the taxes, likely would, but still within the 1% cap. So, and the only other thing I feel good about is, like Greg said, just because you go for it, if they do approve it, and we go, oh, holy cow, that's gonna raise our tax rate from 27 cents to 32 cents, that's more than I thought, we don't have to proceed with taking it. We've just been given the permission,
So like
correct?
last year, what we did was, I think, we got it, but then at the end, I know that Shelby voted that we keep the same rate.
Yes, we left some on the table, we didn't take it all.
We use some of
Yeah,
it.
and we're phasing it in essence.
He made the motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we sat here and we increase our expenses pretty easily. And when you increase your expenses, you got to pay for it.
Yeah.
Well, the issue is we're growing 16, 18%. And we proved that in the paperwork you passed out a few months ago, period. We're growing faster than anybody, period.
Right.
And we're getting, what, 4%? We're now of our growth back. And there's no way to increase people, everybody wants another person. Bernie wants another person. You know, Sheriff Department wants, everybody wants more people, but there's no, if there's not enough money to follow the growth will outrun us, which it's outrun us already. And so we're not guaranteed to get this. We've only got it once that I know of. In the past future anyway. Last year. We've applied for it before, but never got it. And it's the only thing one of the things that saved us in this budget process was some of the excess money.
I don't see an issue with applying for it, and then depending on how the result plays out, and say we do get it and we see where the rate is going to jump, we have the ability to back it off. So applying for it, I don't think is a big deal. It's
Just
at a
gives
later
us
date, we'll
options.
decide what we want to
Right.
do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We didn't increase last.
And you are growing so fast, and it's, you know, the expenses always lag a little bit. and matching up the revenue with the growth in revenue with the growth in expenses this is about the only way you can do it, because remember, I told you, you got your 4% growth quotient. Remember what I keep saying in the future, and you started going down the path. The goal is to get everybody to a $3 tax rate and have no more circuit breaker. And we said in 3 to 5 years, you're probably going to get there. Remember, the combined rate of everybody, okay? So that'll lock you out and lock you out of anything else on property taxes. Then your only spot will be lit. What is very interesting, last week I had my staff, and we're about ready to send it out to you, that right now we have in a home with a reasonable income, we have about 50-50 split between income and property. So it's being allocated, what I think is very fair, okay? When we go to income, it's going to go back on the residential backs. At least property taxes, commercial pays a lot, okay? And so I think that cost of services has been missed. In my opinion, it's been missed in SB1. It's not even been considered. And the cost of community services going forward in Hancock County should have an emphasis on getting taxes from commercial, not just residential, okay? And once we get to $3, there won't be a choice. You'll have to go to LIT. So keep in mind, you got to really think about this plan over the next 3 to 5 years, not just today, okay? Because that's the important part.
Greg, sorry, go ahead, Ron.
Well, I just wanted to ask a quick question. I know for these excess levies, the DLGF, they have a formula that they use. Is there anywhere in that formula that they take into consideration that we got one last year? I mean, will that be detrimental to us?
Robin, you're back to that. We're now to the subjectivity. It's like when you go to the IURC and you get they'll build their case in their order. What they use will be what they choose to use. Okay, so the answer is, Robin, there's no magic.
I guess it wasn't fair asking you what the DLGF was going to do.
Correct. Because first of all, I didn't serve on there, and second of all, everybody's changed.
My other question is, you said that they take lots of things into consideration, such as cash balances. Does that merit at all doing another supplement to the sheriff's pension on getting some of that balance sheet into an unfunded liability?
No, I don't think at this point in time, because the general fund is taking so much of a hit. The 2 million, will eat into your pennies from heaven. It'll take all your pennies from heaven. Once your interest income goes down, you will, the writing is on the wall coming.
27th pay did that for us.
Okay.
Even if it
They had the
was
money to do it.
Yeah.
rainy day.
Yeah.
We were okay.
Your rainy day isn't outlined. It's.
Oh, I know. I'm just, sometimes it looks like we have a lot of cash. But again, there's all these, there's all these commitments to be funded.
Yeah.
But do they take all that into consideration, or they just go, oh, there's a lot of cash here? Or do they look at how much that cash is already committed to?
Again, they'll look at what they choose to look at.
Okay.
70-30 chance
Just
it
who
doesn't
you,
happen anyway. We've never
Greg, will
gotten
they
it.
take into consideration that we are the fastest growing county and that we will need additional
Make a motion.
Absolutely. That's why.
infrastructure and public safety, the whole 9 yards?
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why you
Could we have
qualify.
a resolution number?
Resolution number would be 2025-9-1.
I'm going to make a motion to approve resolution number 2025-9-1, a resolution to appeal for an increase in our maximum levy based on the information provided by FSG.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we approve Resolution 2025-9-1. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Make sure you list that Bernie needs an IT guy because state law required
Oh, I heard that loud and clear.
for
Absolutely.
specialty
Absolutely.
technology.
I apologize, was that a unanimous vote?
Yes.
Greg, will you be asking for a kind of get together with a group to put that document together like you did last year?
Yeah, I think, maybe a Teams meeting or something like that, that we can all get on and just write it,
Approached it the last time through public safety departments. Do you see us not maybe doing that again, being the same as before, or should we find a new road
I
to
think
go
the
down?
answer is we've got a long list.
Okay,
I don't think we need to add.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I put down the 5-year capital plan.
If you look in your emails, I sent each of you a copy of the tentative commissioner's 5-year capital plan. And it addresses some issues that we've talked about in some of these off-site meetings with county farm property. The criminal justice campus, where we should start to plan for a campus near where the new sheriff's building is for courts, judges, and the prosecutor. I forgot to add in there an expansion, potentially the 911 center, because they're getting tapped out, but I wouldn't move it out to that property. It's probably something that would be considered on their property. An expansion of the annex, just because, as Kent said, we're growing and there's nothing we can do to stop it. We're not growing government. We need more people to provide the services, and whether we like it or not, these people are coming to our community. We can't turn them away, but we need some additional space. I've also listed the sale of the memorial building, so don't be fooled by that. We can't really sell it. We can sell it back to Greenfield Banking Company, but if there's some way to make any additional monies off that for the county to put towards offsetting some of the capital costs, we'll look into that. And then just the continuation of the remodel with the prosecutor's office, the community corrections, and the courthouse. And lastly, teaming up with 9 Star to do some water and wastewater infrastructure north on State Road 9 from 400 north to 900 north. In that will be a timeline attached to that. That timeline is really flexible, and Greg mentioned SEA 1, so we don't really know what we can or can't do. We just have to follow what SEA 1 can or can't do to us. But it's a pretty ambitious plan to maybe get these structures sent out to for design and planning, and then have it built by 2031. But that's kind of where we had to go.
And Bill, I think the last email I saw was the suggestion about us going for a grant. If you recall that email, and that was I was totally, that's a total good idea. And I think that would work if you remember, it's a direct grant from the federal government. That will take a lot of horsepower, if you know what I mean. And I don't mean the one that's in your car, in your sheriff or
They were
state
small.
car.
We learned that they were small grants, but they were from Congressman Shreve's office, not to exceed $2 million apiece and 15 projects per his district. But it could add $2 million of value engineering to a water study.
Right.
That needs to be done.
And then remember, we were always suggesting going forward that we would match that up with an SRF. Maybe maybe even Okra or something would come about. So we've got lots of plans of attack. That one was, again, a very good one if we could get that. And I think we have to basically look under every rock we can. to make it happen.
So in this plan, and I'll send a copy of it to you, I think we've got some funding strategies, general obligation bonds, which we use. We could sell some assets potentially. Partnership and grants, again, we just talked about that. Staggered bond issuances. County economic development revenues, whether that's property tax or income tax, not sure how that would work. And then TIF and RDC revenues if they apply. So to me, the real key is we'll have a more developed, detailed timeline implementation to get some of those studies started. But it's going to be watching SEA 1 and how that impacts our county as to how we go with this project. But there is a copy of it.
Great.
You have it. So hold on to that as our guiding lamp, what the commissioners are gearing up to do capital-wise.
Great. That's an email.
It is.
Okay, great. And just so everybody kind of knows, you mentioned the sewer project going north on 9. That is in a TIF area, and I think, isn't this true, Bill, that the long-term plan for that would be to collect in that TIF monies that could then be used for like the Charlottesville area,
Yes.
so that we don't have to come up with money to do that. It can be generated.
Generate
Good
more money
idea.
for further growth of, clean water and sanitary sewer in other parts of the county that need it.
Good idea.
And we know what part of the
Thank you.
county.
Right.
Sheriff, you want to talk about your vehicles?
Good morning. You probably should have a copy in your packet of an invoice. Back in March of the council meeting, I mentioned then that our new police cars would be coming in September. They have arrived, so they are here. And there is a bill invoice for them for the $792,900. So I know that there was some thought, I think, of this to be paid out of a bond that was not fully, I assume, completed yet to be done. So I just don't know where I stand and what we need to do about paying this invoice.
When is it due?
Well, they got them on their lot now, so they would like to probably get paid as soon as we can do it, so.
Invoice
Taking that out of
date
the
is-
bond, weren't we?
Yeah.
Out of the bond, so we may have to float a loan.
Do we have a closing
Got some
date on
money,
the bond?
Janine?
Huh?
You got some money?
I was thinking about using your money.
Hey, Greg, can we chime you in on this? So $800,000 invoices here, cars that are supposed to be paid out of the next GO bond. Can the invoice be paid? I don't know that we did any resolutions to front that money elsewhere. Is that?
Well, so, I believe the commissioners, I believe Lisa Lee had you do a reimbursement resolution for the GO bond. So subject to that, do you know,
Well,
Deborah?
I know that she had him do a resolution or a reimbursement, but was it specific for the cars or does it matter?
I don't think it matters.
Okay.
Because we were, possibly fronting money on the fairgrounds too.
Yes.
So as long as, and I think you did because of that.
Yeah,
So I think
I've
that
seen it.
means-
I've seen it, yeah.
We did
I've
do it.
seen it,
Okay,
yeah.
then that, if that's been passed, then that means if we can front it and we will get reimbursed.
Okay.
Can we just do that from general fund balance and,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
We did that with the Lucas devices, did we not?
Yes.
Yeah, and, so if you want to do that at your council meeting, then we can double check that the reimbursement resolution. Did I hear that it had to be done today?
It doesn't have to be done today, but they would like it as soon as obviously possible because they have them all sitting on their lot. And
So
so,
you meet next week?
Well, we have to advertise for the additional.
Well, that's kind of why I was trying to get this going, because we got a 30-day additional wait period, so.
Yeah, we can go ahead and advertise for the hearing and then we can.
Okay.
Thumbs up to advertise.
From general.
You know, if
Yeah.
you're doing
Yeah, thumbs up.
professional services, that's one thing, but this is a hard asset, so you have to have your reimbursement resolution done first.
And I thought the last time she stood here that I asked a question and she said it was broader than fairgrounds.
Yeah, we don't do it just for a reimbursement.
Yeah, so if you can just ascertain that, that's all.
We'll double check, but I know that we did it, my question was, I just didn't know if it had to
The
be
verbiage.
specific,
Yeah.
on what we were reimbursing, so thank you.
So what I'm hearing is we're still out 30 days
We have to advertise.
with advertising and improvement, so I knew this was gonna happen, so that's why.
So if you advertise now, by our next meeting, are we able to vote on it to take effect at whatever date the window? How many days does it have to be advertised?
10
It's a public hearing.
Yes.
Oh, you can't have the public hearing until after the 10 days.
You advertised the public hearing.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So you're the first week of October then.
Yeah.
This is what I tried to avoid back in March.
I ain't
I
calling
don't
that a
remember,
special meeting.
I don't remember what happened.
To the public access.
Apparently.
Is
yeah,
there,
sorry.
is there $800,000 appropriated somewhere other than general? I mean, I wouldn't think so, but,
No.
Not that's all, it's already
Cars
spoken
came
for.
early, they'll have to hold.
No, they didn't come early. They were told they were gonna be here in September. I have the minutes for the March meeting.
Well, the invoice is dated
What
August 20th.
about rainy day? Greg?
Just check.
oh, yeah, is that appropriated?
Yes. Oh, well, not that much, 500,000 is. 500,000 is.
Not enough in rainy day.
Not enough.
We have 500,000.
You still have to
And
appropriate.
what, is there
don't-
miscellaneous appropriated in county general?
No.
So 500's it.
There probably is some in economic development, though.
I'm sure those cars can't be commissioned either for probably, what, another 30, 60 days once you get them and. get 'em
No, I
all
mean, we have the process of having to outfit them and all that. You know, I mean, the conversation, I have not specifically had a conversation with them. All this goes through Fred. But I told him I was coming here today, and there could be a potential wait time, at least 30 days, but I don't know how happy they were about that, so,
And Fred's handling that on your behalf.
yes.
Sheriff, I mean, we, as long as we get cars, we could use the 500 from rainy day, get $500,000 worth of cars, take possession of those, and then the remainder based upon
Next month.
the additional appropriation. So we give a limited notice to proceed, in essence.
Thing is
Will that work?
obviously the vendor wants their money.
Well, you got 15 cars sitting on your lot, you
Yeah.
probably want paid, but
Would that work, what Greg just proposed with you, $500,000 worth of cars now and the others when it?
I will have conversations with them if that's a possibility, maybe. I mean,
We
you
have
know.
another meeting next week, so I mean. could
Yeah, and I can
find
have some
out what-
conversation between now and next week. You know, if we have to advertise something, to just go ahead and do that, you know.
Right.
I think
Go
we do
ahead and
both.
advertise it regardless.
Advertise.
But, I mean, we do have
Yeah,
the
'cause we
new
don't
law
have
that
to
came
use it.
into effect if it's more, how much are the cars, 700 and some thousand?
92?
792, yeah, you can pay for half of it up front because it's a capital expense and it's more than 250,000. So we could do something like that if,
Well, there's nothing to pay up front. We have them.
well, we could go
I
ahead
mean,
and,
it's not like
okay.
it's
gotcha.
not like hey, in July, we could have paid that up front because they were being built.
Gotcha.
Now they're here.
Gotcha.
We need to pay it.
have excess in
Feel it.
CCD for a temporary
But-
basis?
No, we don't have a miscellaneous.
But,
We do
but
have
it,
91,000 in economic development.
isn't it right, even if this money was setting in the bond fund, once the bill comes in, it's 30 days before we ever pay something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, we don't have to have an additional appropriation because we appropriate all the bond funds at the time of issuance or during the process. So that's
So it can be paid out immediately without any,
correct.
Okay,
But
okay.
obviously, we
well, I know, yeah.
And a reimbursement resolution would be written to suggest that you can reimburse any fund, right? It wouldn't have been so specific to say county general or, okay.
So we can do a thumbs up today to advertise for the full amount. And in the meantime, we do
That's
have
what we did.
available $500,000 if you talk to your vendor and they're willing to release a certain number of cars for
Yeah.
that 500,000. And then after the public hearing, we can release the rest of it.
Yeah, and they may be, I mean, they're again, they may release all of them and let me have them, so we can get started on them. I just know I have the invoice, and so that, the 500, I know I can work with that, see what they got to say. We have it advertised and see what we go from there. So I'll do some talking.
Right,
I
you
think
had to
we
wait
did, yeah.
for
We did.
cars.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we did.
okay,
All right, appreciate it, thanks.
yep. Any old business?
I don't have old business, but I had something I wanted to talk about real quick.
Go.
Scott and I met yesterday with Kayla in planning and Rhonda Cook as their legal attorney. And what we were trying to discuss was how they can start recovering some of the monies that they are paying out for attorney fees. They are paying, we just appropriated $62,000 mid-season because they'd ran out. And Scott can jump in if he, what we found out is, an example was they had spent the monies in planning to pay for the surge development possibilities down there. And within their agreement with them, they were going to be given back $16,000. But when the $16,000 came, it went into the general fund.
Yeah,
So
always
it
does.
created them a shortage. So that was one of the things we talked about. And then the other was identifying these areas that are in ERAs and TIF districts, and monies that are paid out for attorney fees could be paid by the RDC as opposed to the county funds. So those were the kind of things that we were discussing. Scott, do you want to add anything to that? Okay, so they're going to do, we asked Kayla to do a spreadsheet identifying where monies have gone that could have been coming back to reimburse them for some of their expenses. And we can get a plan in place that maybe that money can be directed to them back, or however the council decides they want to handle it. But that was a discussion from yesterday.
Deb and Mary so if checks are coming in through agreements to cover costs associated with planning legal fees, would we have to create a whole new fund if we were really trying to keep track of that separately? Or would that be more of like a running spreadsheet like you do with ARPA, or?
Right now, they pay everything out of a line within their budget for their legal fees. And without looking at each individual invoice, I don't think we could tell what they were for without.
Okay, so it would just be keeping a spreadsheet of what's coming back.
Or we could pull the invoices from AP for that particular law firm but we could do that. They could track their expenses and we could reconcile it against the invoices paid to that law firm.
We kind of pushed it back on Kayla somewhat to start a tracking mechanism,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
we
she
can
has to
determine
say
how
where
to take
she's
those
spending it
receipts and
at.
get them back for reimbursement.
Now, in general,
just know
Kayla
it.
shouldn't be the one receiving checks, right? It would be the treasurer, and then the treasurer would just need to make sure she's aware, or?
A lot of departments receive money, but then they come and bring it to us,
It
and
all
then
comes
we
to the
quietest
auditor.
it in with the treasurer so that
Oh, it does
we
pass through her
reconcile.
office?
Yes.
Okay,
First the auditor and then the treasurer.
okay.
That was just something that was
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah, good. Next on the agenda is the County Farm Visioning Committee update. We're passing out a sheet here. And Janine, chime in. We've been meeting kind of regularly after the or the budget meeting, And we took the bullets from, well, we took the information from the visioning session that we had, and we lined up the bullet points in line of priority that you all talked about. And so these are the bullets that you came up with. We just collated it into a visual form. By the way, the committee is Janine Gray, Keeley, Scott, Tammy, Brad Burkhart has met with us, and we've had Rick Roberts come in and help us. And number one on that list is, as you see, move all or part of the county functions to the farm on the north side, especially the justice components and the highway garage. That was part of what was said, so that's what we've been working with. We have been looking at how to implement the number one item, although we've been talking about the other items also, particularly the gun range, that it would be nice, we think, to move that to the north side, get it out of the south side. We have come to the point where we think that to implement the number one item, that we need to come up with a general plan, a master plan for the farm. We did meet with all four judges, prosecutor, public defender, and they all indicated that, I guess, bottom line, they were ready to move now from where they are. So that kind of gave us the impetus to proceed forward with a proposal to come up with a master plan for the farm.
South.
And we did ask that Rick Roberts come up with his idea for an RFP or a plan of action that would go to the commissioners. And they would obviously be the contracting people to hire someone to do the master plan, because we don't believe that the committee is capable of doing that.
Can I ask what, it says build a mental health facility, exactly what are you talking about there?
Pardon me?
Where it says building a mental health facility, what exactly are you talking about there?
That was just a bullet point, no definition to it.
Ideas.
Yeah.
Right.
Kelly.
Janine?
First and foremost, I think our biggest concern is the justice system, meaning the courts, as Jim mentioned, probation, or prosecutor's office, and the public defender's office. And then perhaps we also have the opportunity for community corrections, trying to keep that all out there on the criminal side right now, just leaving civil down here, and of course all of our offices that the general community uses, auditor. And then, as Bill had mentioned, in the 5-year plan, perhaps building onto this building to accommodate for all the growth we have in the county and expansion there. Mental health, for me, would probably be down more towards the bottom, but it is just all ideas in no particular order, except for number one. And, you know, in the shooting range, that's been on ongoing discussion since we actually started. So, and therefore, you know, it's how much the sheriff can take on prior, because he's, you know, going to be leaving us soon as sheriff, and how much he can take on and is willing to take on prior to his term being up. So that's question that we need to ask.
And I think something that can run concurrently to all of that, if you're talking about the wastewater north on 9, and you're talking about then working in the future, some schedule going east, especially if you move the gun range from the south side. The south side is where the new, if you're gonna solve the problem in Charlottesville, then the treatment plant, if you're gonna think about that, has to be on the south side. And so you just kind of put all those things together, but they're probably gonna run concurrently. You're not gonna build the prosecutor facility and then go after that, because the grants that are gonna come available for the water is going to, run concurrently with some of these other things. But that's probably the only real answer right now to the wastewater problem east of Greenfield is some type of a treatment facility on the south side, and then running it that way. But if you move the gun range, it's a perfect time to do all that. Because you can build a facility there, you could even build park facilities near it. It doesn't have to be, it's not we have one already. Greenfield has a treatment facility 100 feet from a park. So,
The cemetery.
From sitting on the committee, I think it's already been said, but for clarity, the committee's not saying all of these things definitely need to happen, right? These are just things that came up from the get-go when everyone was involved in the visioning. I've done some things to explore, like, for example, mental health facilities. That came up as a need and a gap in services, but I can't really see myself supporting the county actually building mental health facilities. Maybe it's more like, if the right thing came along, we'll lease you 10 acres for $1 kind of thing, and someone else, private industry or someone else could take something like that on, is the way I see it. I'm gonna have a meeting coming up with Gary Poole, because I wanted to touch base on the budgeting that's happened on the RDC side for parks. And then after I meet with him, I'm gonna reach out to Miriam and find out more about where the parks stand and what they're looking to do. But we all agreed that moving the judicial system is a massive effort, an expensive effort, and it does fall on us financially and is at the top of the list when you talk about doing something with the county farm.
And the proposal is going to be is to hire a professional to come up with a master plan, and we would all have inputs into that as you do it. Not only for the real focus will be, I think, the justice system, but we want to take into account everything that has been proposed.
And on the shooting range, we tasked the sheriff like he needed one more thing to do. We thought maybe we expedite getting that shooting range across the road, and then you just have the whole south side for water treatment, parks, commercial development, whatever, and all of our government stuff on the other side of the road. And he did a lot, he put in a lot of effort into providing us kind of some ideas about, I don't remember if it had cost, but moving the shooting range will be a massive undertaking of its own. Like, what's already been developed out there might not seem like a lot, but starting over on the other side of the road, even if we were to stick just outdoor, which wouldn't be the intention, even that would be a major undertaking.
Well, I kind of like the indoor.
Yeah.
I think that's a great
That's
idea. Like you said, if we can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And historically, the sheriff has let qualified, law enforcement groups utilize that shooting range. And so eventually the time might come if we were gonna build something where we have to have a discussion about maybe assessing some kind of fee to the users to help offset
We've
the
already had that discussion.
costs, yeah.
Perfect, good plan.
Next thing is EDA discussion. And I put that on there because we were talking about what were the parameters of the EDA. So in your packet, you got a copy of the resolution that implemented the
My reading glasses aren't enough.
EDA fund. And you can read through what basically we were supposed to spend the money on, and the last item is anything. So it can be spent on anything.
Taking responsibility for this small.
Wow.
I can read it.
Is that Nicole?
Not me.
Nicole,
We need about an 11 font, please.
I'm good,
So,
I'm
no,
good.
Nicole has stepped up to the plate and owned the problem, right?
Good job.
Good job, dear.
Scott, I can read.
I did want to hear council's thoughts, because I meant to go back and actually check tapes and haven't done that, but
Keely came.
we were talking, were we not, when we did the very first EDA, didn't we say that we were going to use it to pay 3 sheriff's deputies as the first order of business when it actually came through years down the road? Does anyone else remember that?
You remember that, Sheriff?
I remember it
I don't
being
remember
on
that.
the president of the mayor board, I can remember that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't,
yeah,
when we came up
We
with
did.
the EDA idea, Sheriff, do you recall that we said our first order of business would be to cover 3 sheriff's deputies, because we added 9 at that time, and we knew that it would take a long time for the money to come. Is that how you recall?
Yeah, I remember that being kind of that way.
And that's why
Yeah.
I was hesitant with Sugar Creek Fire Department, not to
So
fund the
those 3
request,
are-
but to do it from EDAs, just because I want to, since we haven't done anything with EDAs yet, I want to make sure we start off on the right foot and do what we said I know we left it broad in the verbiage, but does anyone have opposition to making that a first order of business
Well,
with EDA?
the 3 that are being funded are at RDC right now, right?
Correct.
Is that all we're funding at RDC is 3,
There's actually 4.
4?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not, there's 3, it's already hired, 1 that's not been hired yet.
Okay.
So, but yeah, 4 at RDC.
Some of the biggest
Yeah.
problems that we've incurred with all that growth out there is the sheriff's department being, for Brad to be able to keep up, and Buck Creek Township Fire Department. Those are the 2 big, things that were incredibly hard hit.
And the RDC at the time, we really weren't giving Buck Creek anything to speak of. So the RDC did their 3-year agreement, which probably only got left, 1.5
Got a
left or
year left,
something.
Mickey?
Yeah.
A year left?
Year left. then-
Yeah,
then it-
and so I do think that is relative, because the Buck Creek Fire Department was a big discussion piece after those 3 officers that we bear the cost of. Kent is at the time that we did this, the RDC also could not pay officers, right?
Well,
And so,
so
That's
the
how it came
money
up,
is
yeah.
fungible, meaning to me, if you take this money and you pay for something that REC is paying for now, then you need to have an idea, the money that you're not gonna be spending the RDC money for, where you're going to put it. So are you gonna move it into Buck Creek's scenario, or what, you know what I'm saying?
well, you have it perpetually in your long-term projections, continue paying those 4 officers. Is that in your 5+ year sustainability?
I'm sure it is. There is
then-
no deadline to it right now.
And then after the 3-year agreement with Buck Creek, what's the placeholder in that line item?
We
Nothing?
don't have an agreement past that.
Okay. And do we have handy when the EDA payments, like what they'll be? Do you have handy what the EDA payments will be?
It says at the bottom,
If you can read the fine print,
If you can read the fine print.
that's,
I'm pretty sure you can.
Oh, yeah,
Nobody can read.
okay.
it looks
made
like
it
though it's
bigger.
gonna be 2027 before there's enough generated to pay for the officers.
Because
I guess the 1.6 million.
I'm
gotta
assuming we
get-
can't be
I don't
that
think
far, that many
500,000,
years
but
away from
maybe-
talking
maybe I'm
about more
wrong.
officers again,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
doesn't go
we're
much.
gonna be really, really up on something next year if the state legislature says you're gonna have to take care of fire and EMS through the county. So then what do? We've got an issue
been
with
there, done
supporting
that.
police, and we've got an issue supporting fire and EMS just around the corner.
Has
Oh,
all
are you
the-
talking about township dissolution, or?
I'm just talking about township in general. I mean, I think the talk legislatively is to have something go to where townships would go over to the control of the county local government. In what way, shape, or form, I don't know yet, but I think that's, I don't know if that's what you're hearing too, Greg, from Representative Thompson, but.
I'm hearing that the writing's on the wall, we're going to fire districts. And, you know, the model has been kind of coming about in Allen County. They have about 5 of them. There's one territory. We work with the territory. They may convert. But and remember, we do have a lit in SB 1 for fire. Doesn't say EMS yet. And it's 0.40 basis points. And so, but yeah, you know, and obviously there's townships here, but I'm hearing that, you know, that's the way they're eventually not going to have townships.
Greg, are you talking about a district for a county?
That was the first option, and you know, I suggest that a district should be formed by quadrants too in some counties, rather than a district in a whole county. Quadrants will make more sense.
So this is not doing away with township government, but kind of. The old.
They've been trying to get rid of township
Oh,
government since
forever.
2008.
The ultimate goal is to minimize any,
Since the
Township
Shepherd
assessors.
report, yeah.
minimize
isn't
the township government, period.
Mitch Daniels' idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read
Yes.
the Shepherd report.
Have we received payment from these 2 EDAs that are active right now? We've not received those monies yet?
166,000's in there right now.
I-70, we haven't.
Greg,
received-
a question.
Wait, let them
Oh.
finish.
We have not received payment from I-70. Got sent a letter to them. And we've sent a letter, but we haven't heard anything.
But GDI has paid theirs?
GDI did pay, and they did pay based on the declaratory resolution versus the EDA amount.
So it says in the fine print.
Well,
No, I think
So,
Sounds good.
Hence the small print?
well, Deborah, the EDA forecast here is, the way I read it, is not keeping up with the actual monies coming in. So is that due to some arguments with the company? I mean, we've got $169,000, and in '24, this says it should have been $386,000, so.
you're correct. I-70 has not made their EDA payment. They haven't paid it. And then we still have another payment from GDI later coming in, because it's twice a year they pay.
That makes sense then.
GDI's paid the spring, they'll be paying the fall, but I-70 hasn't paid spring yet, and then they would still be
Yeah,
the fall from them as well.
so
Aren't we
the
able
forecast.
to, if they don't pay, remove their abatement?
That's the
God.
question that we've been asking. At this point in time, they
I don't
also
think we can.
appealed, I-70 even put an appeal in, but they've since removed it. But that's a question that we have for you as
Yeah,
council.
I don't think we
legal.
can.
Can we
Well, I
go
would
ahead and
vote it.
remove the abatement?
I don't think we could remove the abatement, only because the abatement is filed on a state-prescribed form that the council signs. EDA is an internal form, so I don't know how much teeth that would have over the jurisdiction of the application and approval of the abatement.
To me, they're not holding up to the whole agreement.
I think
There's
then
a
that,
big agreement to me. So as a legal argument,
It
I
needs
think
to be-
there's a legal argument.
it's in
I
the
think
tax.
Mary's correct in that, because
It's in the tax.
it's totally got to do with the state form and so forth. That is an internal thing, and I don't think we can pull their abatement
I think it could.
on
So-
account of that.
Isn't it under your jurisdiction as to whether or not you choose to give them the abatement, therefore you can revoke that?
You can just not approve the
I
CF1.
It looks like it's in the
for
abatement.
cause.
Yeah, you
It
have
was
to have
in the
cause.
Using all
abatement.
the
It's not
terms, the
separate.
number of
Not
employees, the
paying is
number, or
for
amount of
cause.
salaries and all the things, the abatement application and final.
It's in the abatement application.
I would like direction from our legal to know whether or not they
Abatement
leave that
benefits.
abatement
If they
on
meet all
or
their
take it
statement of
off if
benefits.
they don't pay their EDA payments.
Right.
We can wait
Well,
and see what happens.
So,
If they
so
meet-
my,
There's difficulties,
If they
let's say,
meet all
with,
their statement of benefit requirements, and the EDA is not part of that statement, I don't know how we could pull the abatement if they are meeting their commitments through the
Before you say more, let's just have legal take care
I
of it.
think you have it right, a legal
I agree, but I,
question. That's
He's an attorney, I'm telling you.
Okay, so my
But there's
question,
question about the money. So I think with the EDA money, with the questions about it, and we do have, after what you were talking about, Keely, we were able to use TIF money for operations. So that's why we've got the sheriff's deputies in there now, and that's a good thing, I think.
Yes.
So it frees up the EDA money for whatever we want, but it's questionable how much money there is. So with all that kind of, and the EDA part of it, just kind of, we better put it in the back burner and.
Well, and another thing is it's not
I
a
would say
long-term
with the EDA
sustainable
money, though-
source, right? I mean, you can see here, by 2039, it's, it's retreated all the way back down to 1 million that year, and then it looks like maybe there's no more after that, and I don't see any reason right now why there would be any more after that, because now you can pay personnel out of TIF. So we're gonna have
Right.
this, like, 15-year period where it ramps up and comes back down and disappears. And so we also want to be careful about planning to do anything perpetually with that.
well, okay, two things, real simply though,
The EDA is a tool that can be used both by the council and by the commissioners. So
right.
I
Please
agree.
don't think about setting that on the back burner. I mean, we're not asking, this is for Sugar Creek, it's not for an operational expense, for a capital expense. And potentially, if what Greg says comes true and we become a district and the county takes over, we're going to be paying for capital items.
Well, when we made this though, Bill, the whole point is that we weren't going to pay for any capital with this because you could pay for
Right.
capital out of
That-
TIF
that's
and
why
you
it was
couldn't pay
made.
to
It was
operate. So the
operational.
whole point of this to begin with and all the attorney fees we paid to make it happen was to cover operational costs.
So, okay, so let me ask Greg 2 questions real quick.
Yes, sir.
Easiest question first. If the company pays us $100 in taxes, okay, after all the abatements and the EDA agreements, and let's say the EDA agreement is 20% of that, does the company pay us $80 for taxes and then the EDA $20? Or does the company pay $100 in taxes and then an additional $20 for the EDA? That's the
No, I'm
first
going to
easy
say
question.
in the hypothetical, the first.
Okay, so
Great,
it's not an additional burden
No.
to the company. Okay, we're just splitting up what it
we're
is.
splitting up their
Okay, so then my second question
And Kent,
is
if I'm,
what everybody's asking, why would we go forward with any new EDAs if the money is going into the pot anyway? Why do we need to complicate ourselves with restrictions on part of that money in the future? This, she just said, it's going to die. It's there, but from the future, from here on out, why would we require any EDAs in any of the abatements?
I thought the EDAs were outside
We
the
haven't been
tax.
doing any more EDAs, I think.
The EDA is in the application process.
And it netted out the same as a standard
It's
abatement.
right there.
They
Yeah.
weren't paying any more or any less than they would have
Right.
with the standard
So-
tenure.
so if you're wanting me to answer that, I would say one thing, okay? You're right, we won't have it most likely going forward, but I will also say, be careful, we don't know what's coming next year, okay? And maybe we do want an EDA for the unknown. So we're gonna set it back in our toolbox and let it sit there, but I wouldn't abolish it.
Right.
Because, I might have liked to had one on some other projects that might have come here.
Okay.
So you never know.
So what you're saying is then we need to, when we do decide on tax abatements, we need to decide if an EDA is appropriate or not at that time. But we could say, the majority of the time, we could say, no, we don't need an EDA for this specific one. It's in the application right now. So we're going to have to do something to it to make it
Well, we discussed at another meeting, updating this application form, which we never really went further with discussion on what we wanted to change. We just said we probably need to update it.
But can't the EDA be different from this resolution? I mean, an EDA, can't it be, hey, the company wants to pay something else? You know, it's just an agreement between the commissioners and a company, or between us and the company.
it could even
It
be
doesn't have to be changing of the abatement.
It could even be a donation, an annual donation directly
Whatever.
to the fire department.
Correct,
or-
and that can all be covered in a
Applicant further
developer
agrees
agreement.
To an economic development.
So
agreement.
not,
Well, I agree
remember
with that,
the,
but let's say we, the commissioners choose not. That just means they
Right,
agree
but
to.
I just was reading, the applicant further agrees to the economic development agreement. That's in the
And the
application.
provisions of the agreement. So I could read that to say that there was no negotiation with the commissioners or with us to establish an EDA. So that paragraph just really doesn't mean anything. But if there is an EDA in discussion, then that paragraph does mean something. So it's just a matter of whether or not that particular company has engaged with the commissioners or us to generate an EDA based on whatever the need was for
But
it.
I would say there would have to be something new come about in the next couple of years, because from what we know today, there's no benefit for us.
I mean, I think you
Bill-
probably, Greg's
But
right, you hold on to the EDA.
EDA
don't shelve
can
it,
be
hold
a
on to it.
general thing,
But
not a
when you
benefits for it right
negotiate
now.
with a company
Yeah.
for something, then you create an incentive agreement or developer agreement, if you want to call it that.
Correct.
You say, okay, you're going to give me this
Yeah.
for this.
and remember what I said the last meeting. We'd like to get a resolution out of the council that say, when there is a economic development agreement, that we also have a amount of money that is on the line for professional or staff of the county. I don't know if you were here, Bill, but we had suggested that to the county council, that if they came up with a resolution that we could have recovery of that if they walk and we incur $50,000 worth of legal and financial work trying to get them here. So, we wanted to look at having that installed, talking with Randy and saying, there's got to be something. Does everybody remember me mentioning that last time?
Right, we're going to have some
And so-
skin in the game no matter what, but that doesn't mean we have to be all in on every project, and then every project that doesn't come, we lose all
Ex-
out, all out.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
I wanna-
we're done with
I want to make
that.
sure Bill knows, I don't know if you were here or not, the Sugar Creek Fire Department, when they asked for the 150,000, and I believe it came recommended by you, the consensus here was, we intend to help you with this amount of money. But if we pay it from the EDA fund, we want to do a reimbursement resolution to put that back, because at
From
least.
the RDC.
Because, we haven't done anything with EDA money yet, and we said it was gonna be to operate emergency services, and so to come right out of the gate and say, okay, there's 160 there, we're gonna give 150 for capital to the township that's not where the EDA is for, it just felt like starting off to me on the wrong foot for what we said we were gonna do. But we all told Chief Klein that we are agreeable to paying it, no matter how it gets paid.
And I understand that. I've created something where you've had to open up a discussion with another entity that probably shouldn't have that. And I probably should have said, hey, is there a way we can give, food and beverage would be the all monies instead of
Well, I'm glad you brought it
money out
up.
of EDA. If that eases the pain, I understand where the council's coming from when they say, not only when they say, hey, this was just supposed to be used for operational expense, but it's opening up another.
But we have to
Doors
determine, if
box
we
with
are
some
gonna do it
things.
that way, what's the process? How many times a year? What, how do you make your ask? How are the asks gonna be, more systematic if we're gonna do?
Well, we haven't asked a situation where they ask for lit public safety monies. I one of every year to have I think with Sugar Creek, I think it was just to pay down debt on their apparatus.
But isn't that related to the RDC?
Probably.
So shouldn't that be coming from the RDC? But if the RDC doesn't have money now, we could,
Yeah, it's a matter of
what we're saying, we
patience.
could loan it
Well, we
from
have to ask the
the,
RDC, and he's sitting
fund.
right here, so.
The money was there, but it's a matter of patience. Patience. It's not this year or next year. It's
And with-
just a matter of patience.
With the RDC, like this year, we're extremely tight.
Yeah,
And for
this year,
next
next
year,
year.
it depends if we get that grant
Right.
or not. If we don't, then there's not a lot of extra cash. But if we
But
do, then we can cover it.
That to me is short-term, because we're talking, 24 months of, 12 to 24 months of a pinch point with the RDC. But a small request like 150,000 is no big deal if we just wait a little bit.
So going
We
forward,
can reimburse
though,
it even later on, 27 budget or something. You know what I mean?
from the RDC.
From the RDC.
Sure.
That's
Why
not an
don't we do
issue.
that?
was the resolution, when we voted on being able to reimburse the EDA fund if it was paid from there, where did that make it? Scott's not here. I think he was supposed to draft the verbiage, was he not? Scott was supposed to be providing something we could
Yeah.
vote on, so that when we paid it, because you can't pay it and then do a reimbursement resolution. You have to vote that you're gonna
Right.
reimburse yourself, then pay it, and Scott's not here, so I don't know where that specific request
Right.
stands
That's
today.
why we
So-
think that maybe this discussion should be tabled until we have our legal counsel.
Okay.
Right. But personally, we ought to be
For
more
the
worried
council
about
meeting.
people not paying into it.
Absolutely.
Because if we're gonna eventually move police officers into that fund or anything like that, if we're not getting half our money,
Right.
And I
Then-
would say that's a good thought.
then
We
we
should
got a
hold
big
off-
problem.
Hold off on making that another flow of money because the money's not
right, because
flowing
it sounds like may not be, until legal gets a hold of it, it may not be as secure as the other. That's another reason not to make it bigger.
I would go so far as to suggest that we plan on not spending and revisit EDA money in general in like 6 months or something. And say, okay, we will have had, make sure that the people, did these guys ever pay? Did the other people keep paying? And really, we were talking earlier with Greg about having minimum balances. I mean, this first year, if we're gonna get into 3 years from now spending $3 million a year, it wouldn't hurt to have 300 in there, as that cushion. So I don't know if we're ready to make commitments with EDA money myself, but I'm open to everybody's thoughts.
Bill, can you look into your legal counsel and find out how we can force people to pay into it?
I'll ask your legal counsel as well.
Yeah. If the
actually
money's
your legal
not coming
counsel, but
in, then
Well,
it's
I-
all moot anyway.
I think it's the big L word, and that's litigation. I don't see any other way around it. I think some of these, we're gonna be forced to go into it, so that may.
Yeah, we need to secure the fund first.
And being as the TIF has plenty of cash again in a couple of years for capital requests, I mean, this debt could technically wait to be paid down, I'm certain, but we did agree to help fund it, and I'm okay with that. But are we going to not lock ourselves in, but is our first priority still to pay for operational costs with EDA money, or
Well,
is that
the-
just not the
The
consensus?
resolution says it can pay capital or operating.
Well, I know we left it
says-
intentionally broad,
Yeah.
yeah.
I am definitely
Well,
not in
and-
favor of us pulling the funding for the officers out of RDC
No,
at
I'm
this
saying
point,
the next
until
three
we figure out
officers.
what this is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's nothing to keep us from using the EDA money for mental health or anything else. It can be used for anything.
Pick something better.
A sewer.
Sewer.
Yes,
Sewer?
something actually that
Okay, so
proves help.
I will add that to our meeting for next week, and I will ask Scott, I'll call him and ask him to be prepared to talk about it.
Yeah, because I know Sugar Creek's expecting the 150. We said we were gonna send the 150, but there was supposed to be some
Right.
verbiage we were gonna vote on to do that.
yeah, but he's not, but we don't have it, so,
Would you be okay if I made sure that we have some type of reimbursement resolution by the council meeting next?
right, right,
That on the agenda maybe?
yes.
You can vote on that and the expenditure the same meeting, correct?
And this is discussing the reimbursement of the,
Yeah, if we're gonna pay
Right.
Sugar Creek's 150 out of there, we're gonna put it back later from a more appropriate fund source and reevaluate.
From
I
the
want to make sure I cover it
RDC,
with my calling to
Yeah,
be ready.
from the RDC,
from the RDC, Jim says.
A resolution for reimbursement of EDA from the RDC. Yes,
Yep.
gotcha. Okay.
okay. Next on the agenda is Sugar Foods, the incentives group. And just so we know, this is for information only, no voting on this.
Can we have a minute to set up, their
Well-
slideshow?
Break.
And can we take a few minutes?
Thank you.
Hey, another reason why we need IT, because IT could come set up the slideshow.
Yeah.
Yes,
Instead of,
thank you
Our
for pointing that out.
technologies aren't meshing,
Commissioner.
so Mary's gonna use her computer to help them out.
Pushing that.
What's that?
The,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly, exactly.
Well, you know me, I can't help myself. Man, I just realized how many of these
I'm not
projects
for
were
the-
already starting.
If you didn't notice, I'm not for the EDAs.
There's a lot of
I mean,
Look, it was
not
supposed
going
to start
forward.
last year, no.
It just forces
Other-
you
other-
into a bunch of problems.
So a lot
Well,
of
other,
this-
other areas do something different than
Those
EDAs.
are those seven
Other-
connects
I was told
down
we're going to
there.
confuse counties and mistaken
We're, yeah,
exercises there.
we had to do it, and the legislature changed.
I'm planning on it. I was gonna say, don't be, I have another meeting I have to go to, so I won't be able to stay for the whole thing. I get up and leave. So I am gonna be there. So if I can stay.
It's the meeting's here, correct? I'll be at the library. It's in Green, when I say here, I mean Greenfield, because I'm always driving to Greenfield. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Never even know those, okay.
How many years?
Five. Yeah, five, yeah. And that equipment, though, is not like the other equipment. That equipment lasts for like,
Make myself legit.
you know, like this is cooking equipment stuff. A lot
Sure,
longer.
but I'm just, in too many years down the road,
I know, I
obsolete. So
understand.
I just feel like we don't want to get
I do
too
think
far,
that-
we don't want to look at it too far
Right,
down the
no,
road because
no.
it won't matter.
5 years. But I do think it's a positive. It's one of the better things that's come about. It's going to be put in a vacant
I will
building.
email those to you.
But
that
I
lost
heard
its
that they
tenant.
had, there was an offer to
It's unmuted.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, no, I didn't know they were.
Okay. You introducing this? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
No, I didn't know.
All right, guys.
You're on, Erica.
I am here to introduce Sugar Foods. This is a company that's looking to take some space in a previously occupied building in the Mount Comfort area. They are looking to bring just over 100 jobs with an average wage that exceeds the current Hancock County average wage limit. And so I am going to leave it there and let them tell their story.
What was occupying it before?
It's in my notes, but my head
Did
went
it make
blank.
it building?
No, she said it was
It
occupied
was
before.
occupied,
What?
3PL. It's in my notes. Give me one moment and I'll let you know. But I'll let them go ahead and I'll let you know at the end. Good morning.
Welcome.
Been there very long.
First, I wanted to thank you all for having us here today and allowing us the opportunity to introduce ourselves, talk a little bit more about the proposed project, and hopefully get to know us a little bit better and have the opportunity to partner with you in the county. So first, just introduce ourselves. I'm Sarah Ribler, Executive Vice President of Risk and Administration at Sugar Foods. I've been with the company for 13 years, so have a lot of history.
Hi, nice to meet you all. Mike Harrison, Chief Operating Officer at Sugar Foods, been with the company.
Morning, I'm Larry Kramer, Site Selection Advisor to the company.
Nice to meet you all.
So Sugar Foods has been in business since 1948. We started out as a bulk sugar company, hence the name Sugar Foods. But over our 77 years have evolved into a major food manufacturing player within the industry. Today, we sell our products in all types of food establishments, anything from retail stores to restaurants, fine dine restaurants, quick serve restaurants, convenience, and so on. And so it's really been said that approximately 2,000 times a second, somebody consumes something that we make in one of our facilities. And our strategy is really simple. It's our mission statement: the customer is king. And for us, the customer is our internal employees, the team, the trade that we serve, our consumers, and the communities that we operate in. If you're not familiar with the name of the company, Sugar Foods, you might recognize some of the products that we ultimately produce. The Fresh Gourmet brand is a brand that you see frequently in grocery stores. Where you find your produce, you'll find various salad toppings. I see a smile, so it looks like someone's familiar.
I use all of those.
You use all of them? Wonderful, wonderful. But we also sell the same types of products into food service. So when you go to a restaurant, you may be consuming one of our products there. Through chain restaurants, like you see when you're driving through the community, we really provide various types of toppings and beverage enhancers for anything that you can think of on on pizzas, soups, salads, beverages, and the like.
Is this location going to be specific to just one product, or are you going to do several?
We'll do a host of products, yeah. So
Are you manufacturing those products or more legit?
manufacturing, yeah. So.
Actually, a nice segue to
Exactly.
project. So our proposed project is at 2709 Northwest Street, and it's in an existing building, as Erica mentioned, in the Mount Comfort Logistics Park. The building today is about 700,000 plus square feet. We'd be looking to take over about 431,000 square feet of that. Our proposed project includes both manufacturing as well as distribution. On day one, which would be September, ideally September 2026, we'd be looking to produce crispy onions. So today we're producing crispy onions in our Mexico facility. We'd be looking to bring that to the United States as our business has grown, and we need the capacity to support that business as we go forward. So for those who have done a green bean casserole around Thanksgiving time, you've probably purchased one of our crispy onions. That's the product we'll be looking to make on day one in this facility from a manufacturing standpoint. Our distribution side as well, so we found as Sarah was mentioning, our strategy is pretty straightforward. We like to distribute and manufacture in the same location because that allows us to be closest to our customers to serve them the best way and support a mission statement, customer is king. So in addition to manufacturing crispy onions on day one, we'll also be doing distribution of products that are made in our other facilities in the United States, and we'll aggregate them here and then ship them out to our customers. The plan that we have for this site is much more than day one. So on day one, to answer your question, Mary, it will just be that crispy onions that you see in the bottom right-hand corner. But our plan over the next 3 to 5 years is to invest significantly in this facility, package croutons, fruits and nuts in both retail, food service, as well as portion packs, which are sold in our QSR restaurants. In addition, we've been looking to bring some kettle cooking products. So if you think like chocolate syrups, caramel syrups, peppermint syrups.
Do you have a little outlet store there that we can go to? I'm ready. I'll be there in about half hour.
Tasting room.
Yeah. Instead of wine tasting.
Instead of wine tasting.
You know,
You can tell it's getting close to lunch.
to come up with our R&D session
Yeah.
and try it out.
We like samples.
Can make that up. So we'd be looking to package and produce other items we currently have in our portfolio that Sarah just showed you. So on day one, it's one fry line. 5 years from now, we envision this to be our showcase facility for the company. And where we're manufacturing a lot more products there and packaging a lot more products than we're just doing today. So we have a pretty big strategy for our proposed project that we think could be game changer for our company as we move forward. So very excited about the opportunity that we
For
have there.
distribution, going from year 1 to year 5, as you mentioned, how many vehicles do you see going through
Sure.
in a day?
So in a day, we're estimating at our peak about 50 trucks a day on the inbound and outbound side. So both for a production standpoint as well as a distribution standpoint.
Employees, I didn't.
105 employees.
So you'll have
An
potential
average
of those
wage of-
cars also, plus the
We'll have,
trucks.
that'd be over 2 shifts. The 105 employees will be over 2 shifts,
Yes.
2 to 3 shifts.
Okay.
Depending upon where we're running. So it's not all at once.
A question that goes along with that, in your literature there, it says, distribute other products nationwide. Will you distribute things from there nationwide? So that will add some trucks on the?
That's in that
What he's
number.
saying.
So our distribution there will service, as we think about where our customer footprint is. So we undertook a network study about a year ago to see where should our next U.S. facility be. And we looked at a lot of different areas, which we narrowed down to the Midwest based upon our customer geography and where we're at. So this facility would service, if you think about the Midwest, upper Midwest, Northeast, Mid-Atlantic kind of areas of the country as we go about that.
Are you going to buy new equipment to put in that facility? Not bring it from
We're
another
purchasing,
site?
anything we put in that facility will most likely be purchased new equipment. On day one, the fry line is a brand-new line that we're working with our existing vendors on. So it's about $35 million capital investment on day one into that facility of all brand-new equipment. And then any subsequent equipment we add over the years would be brand-new equipment as well.
On a personal property assessment, used equipment can be listed, but it will be given a depreciated dollar amount. So I was trying to drive at what's new or what's used, so it's all going to be new.
All would be brand-new equipment. Yeah, we're looking for brand-new equipment on day one.
If you notice the location of this facility, I don't think there's any residential anywhere near it.
I haven't looked at an aerial on it yet.
Because it's south of 300 north on 400 west. I have to ask this question. It shouldn't. It's a stupid question, but I have to ask because I've been burnt once. Is anybody, any owner of the company, is anybody on the board, or is there any ownership or anything that's ever been done with the CCP, with the Chinese?
No.
Okay.
No, not doing
Well,
it.
we have the largest pork producer in the United States owned by the Chinese government now, and we have a facility that I voted yes on tax abatement for about a mile from there that is now controlled by the Chinese government. So I want to make sure we don't have any foreign I am excited about the idea of bringing the food from Mexico back into the United States. I'm not great about putting stuff on top of my salads that weren't made in the United States, so. But, so there's no connection to any other foreign country?
No.
Okay, super.
So you're not relocating a US location to this location? It's brand
A
new?
brand new facility.
And you do have other US facilities like this?
We currently have four of the facilities in the US, of which 3 are production, 1 is just distribution.
And how many years have you been in roughly those facilities?
Sarah, I'm going to turn to you.
So we're about almost 30 years in Georgia, Mexico since '07. And Brockton has been close to 30 years in that site also. We have a long history of expanding. Once we settle in a community, we don't move around a lot. We really stay where we are. And we settle in, we become part of the community, and we typically expand both in number of employees and in.
So you
That's always
anticipate, oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, that's just always a constituent concern, is are they gonna get an incentive and leave when that's gone and just go get new incentives elsewhere?
That's not our track record shows that our plan is not. Our plan one day is to take over all 700,000 square feet of the facility. That's our end state goal, to be able to fully operate that whole facility. We've done that in Georgia and California, and as Sarah mentioned, Brockton.
We were told that there's possibly an incentive to the fire department that you guys are discussing.
Yes.
And so are you negotiating that incentive with just the fire department, or has the commissioners been notified as to any incentive that they might be offering, and if it will be in writing? For me, it's going to have to be in writing before I can vote on the abatement next week. So if they can finalize anything with that, would matter.
Right, so we're not
Mary-
voting on the abatement next week, we'll be introducing.
Mary, I think the process is we would, not today, but do a
Right.
declarative, and then they go to the commissioners.
So after the
And then they
declaratory.
come back to us for a final.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we have all of this on paper before we do a final vote on the abatement, that we're sure everybody's on the same page.
We have not had discussions with the fire department yet.
You have not?
We have not, but we know there's going to be an impact, particularly on for the requests we have for tax abatement. So we're going to address that in 1 minute, Mary, if that's okay. We just
Yeah,
have
sure.
2 slides away, and
Sure.
I think
I get kind of jumpy, so sorry.
So just some examples of the type of community partnership, as we talked a little bit about. We don't move around. We look to make a home. We look to become part of the community in which we are operating. And those types of community activities and support can vary based on the local needs. There's a wide variety that we have engaged in over time, stemming from, beginning with supporting orphanages, making sure that there's holiday gifts around Christmas time for the children, 5K races to raise money for charity, regular donations to food banks, or supporting with a physical presence when there's a need. We're very open to partnering in a way that's meaningful and valuable to the community, and that helps us get to know the community, and the community get to know us. So we'd be very open to hearing where we could support and be of help to the local community.
And the partnership and support we're looking for is on the slides. I won't go through it, but we are proposing a donation to the fire department. Each year, we have a tax abatement to make sure that we have good partners in the local community. So as Sarah said, we want to make sure we're doing things that are relevant to the community. Each community is unique and different. And we want to make sure we're being good stewards to the community in that regard. So it is something that's top of mind for us.
Sounds like you expect most of your employees to live in the county too. I see you.
Yes.
Put a number on that.
Yeah, so we know for other facilities, drive radius that you're going to get for manufacturing and distribution jobs. And one of the things that we looked at in Hancock County was the population, and that's really why we're proposing this project within Hancock County.
And just to mention, our request is for the standard tax abatement on personal property. It's the equipment, the production equipment and warehouse equipment that's really driving the jobs here. It's not the building that drives jobs, it's the production that does. So this will be very helpful to the project to have assistance through a tax abatement. And again, just the standard tax abatement with a payment going each year to the fire department.
Your application said you offer basically a full package of benefits. Do you know offhand your retirement program, I assume, is a 401K? Does the company match?
We do. We have a 4% match across all of our facilities.
A
and
dollar for dollar match on
Yes.
4%?
4% match.
Well, these days, it used to be standard and now it's generous, so I think that says something about the way you treat your employees.
Absolutely.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I was curious about, the 5-year abatement of, my first question on is, would 50% each year be a consideration? The other thing that I think about is, would a 3-year abatement be okay, or is that a no-go for the business?
So since this is not on a building, it's on the production equipment, the standard abatement is very helpful to the project because the equipment will depreciate really quick, right? So it starts off with a good amount that's very helpful, and it's upfront when they can help. It helps offset the large investment, the $35 million they're making at the site. So we really appreciate your consideration of the 5-year. We would be happy to discuss something, 5-year standard, be happy to discuss something else if that's the
What kind of
purview of the
lease
council.
terms that have you committed to with the owner of the building as far as just leasing the building itself? I don't need the,
Yeah, it'd be a lease of the building that has not been signed yet. You want to address it?
The long-term partnership we're talking about, so we're looking at 20-plus year lease. is what we're looking at.
Oh, your initial lease, you're looking that long.
And to let all of you guys know, because this will be a special exception in the area, they have to go before the BZA, and so there's a cost there. What we had talked to how the planning department, all the
Yeah, I was
costs.
just trying to
I'm just
think-
letting you know that they got to go before the BZA and get approval, because a food production is not allowable. It's a special exception in that area.
Good to know.
yeah, huh.
There you go.
Thanks for
The
the info,
same
Scott.
with, there's Smithfields down there somewhere.
That should slow it down a little.
Any other questions?
We really appreciate you
Thank
guys
you.
coming in.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank you for coming in.
allowing us to ask questions.
Yep.
And the last thing, Erica?
The previous tenants was Draco, the third-party logistics.
Very cool.
Erica, is this the warehouse that's right up on 70, right there, 27?
Yes, yeah. So if you think there's the 3P or the,
They just built a new one almost at the intersection, but it's the one that's south of it.
they've got the cold storage.
Yep.
But it wasn't food production?
No.
It was just distribution, warehousing.
Federal redistribution company that's no longer in there.
Okay.
I'm surprised about
Last
that.
thing
That
on the,
it's not zoned, that they have to get a special exception. I'm really surprised.
I would say Ambrose, yeah.
the last thing on the agenda was, I just put in there as a reminder to me and for us that we need to be planning
That was right here.
what we're going to continue in the mental health initiative that we started with ARP money, because the ARP money runs out at the end of 26. And, people are involved, people work, and we need to look at, evaluate what we're doing and decide what we're going to do going forward, if for nothing else, the people that are working there. So we'll be,
Brad, can you confirm, so what's been funded either by the health department or ARPA related to mental health in the jail? We've got, the contract with, the community, what do they call it? Correctional, I forget that company's, Matthew.
Matthew is a grant through the ISA, Sheriff's Association, but we don't
Okay.
pay for him.
Oh, he is grant covered, but that's probably renewable each year.
Yes,
Okay.
through the Sheriff's Association.
And then ARPA and or the health department is covering what, 3 navigators?
So we have two navigators in ARPA, and then currently the third navigator is coming out of the health department, which was found out next year will not, so.
Right, 3, so we're covered through 26 on all 3, and
Correct.
then all 3 are not covered for the following year.
Correct.
Are there other costs we're not thinking of that have been ARPA subsidized that we need to be looking for a home for?
Shouldn't be.
Just those
That
three
should be those
people.
3 that we got, as far as I remember.
And roughly, after benefits, 100K a year, salary plus insurance plus benefits-ish per person?
Per person, yeah. That'd be pretty close.
well, and the plan would be to, in subsequent meetings, to bring the people before us to review the program and give us the results, like the sheriff and his program, and Amanda from the hospital, so that we can know what has gone on and what is going on. And
Just like to bring up the solar stuff, don't you? You just like to perpetuate that, you
I
know.
want you to be in a bad mood when you leave.
Yeah, you just
Oh.
want to keep the cloud overhead of us, right?
No.
Yeah, not with Brad stuff. I
Just-
mean, I'm
just
talking
stuff.
about the other stuff.
I mean, really, the hospital has taken on a lot, you know, we used a lot of ARPA money to seed fund things at the hospital that they said they would sustain beyond the ARPA period. So I
That
really
may
think
not
to
be
only
true.
be talking about 300,000 is actually good for how much investment was.
I mean, obviously, they work with us quite a bit, with the Justice Navigation team. I mean, so, I mean, that collaboration, cooperation between us, I mean, has been valuable. So, I mean, I'll give you that much.
Yeah. Oh,
So
did
is
that
it-
documentary come out that they made?
Yeah, yeah, we have the document. Which one? Oh, the hospital one?
I was there one day when that guy graduated MRT that I went to school with, and they were filming a documentary that I wanted to
Yes.
see when it was done. Is it
Yes,
done?
we have that, that is done.
Oh, will you send me a link or whatever?
Yeah, actually, we're trying to work out, I'm gonna actually try to do maybe a public showing
Oh, okay.
for it, and so,
I'm excited to see that.
yeah.
But at any rate, we'll be bringing people in and over the next few months, and so we don't come to, December of 26 and say, oh crap.
26 is a long way.
Okay, thank you.
Could happen.
Okay,
Mary?
I had spoke with Greg, and he offered and was going to give us just a little bit of information on where personal property abatements and personal property as a whole stands today after SB 1. So we know this year, we know next year it's probably going to
Well,
change
Well,
again.
they changed the code somewhere else on personal property, right? Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna attempt to do this.
There are about 5 pages, don't shuffle them down. Okay, keep them in order, so take one
It's
and
like a
pass them
teacher.
around.
Don't shuffle your
There's
papers.
papers.
Very bossy.
You know who you're
Reading
dealing
that
with
one.
here?
So,
Janine Gregg.
And then you've got plenty of room to make your own note if you want on each of these pages, but I'll explain each page as we go. We're trying to figure out a title for it. And quite frankly, with Monday being Labor Day and Mary and I talking on Thursday, I said, I'll try this. And by the way, when we get SB2, we'll put SB1 over here and we'll put the SB2 over here. So in talking with the utility / personal property group at DLGF, they are working hard on 2 personal property tax filing Form 103s, okay? Because you're going to have 2 separate ones, more than likely, And let me explain. So for the very first page, we've used $1 million personal property value. That's what they're going to put on their return. On the very first page, if you want to label this number 1, this is date put into service, it's new, 1/1/25. So after 1/1/25. So we would be talking about the person that was Sugar Foods just moments ago. They're in an allocation area, yes. What does that mean? And the allocation area, by the way, was created before 1/1/24. Okay? That means they will have a depreciation floor of 30%. So that 30% applies. Okay? Easy peasy. Now, go to the next page, label that number 2. You have personal property value of $1 million. You put it into service last year, 1/1 or before, 1/1/24. You're not in an allocation area. You will have the 30% floor. Okay? So the good thing is, right there, regardless of whether you're in the TIF or not in the TIF, if you compare page 1 and 2, you've got the 30% floor. Okay. Number 3, if you want to label that number 3, the next one, you have $1 million. You put it into service in 1/1/25, so Sugar Foods. You're in an allocation area, yes. The allocation area is new now. You will get a 50%, you will go down, this is assuming pool 2, 5% is the bottom floor on pool 2, so it would be valued at $50,000, the depreciation floor. Okay? So that means as you structure new TIFs, you must take it into account. If you were dependent on TIF, what I think was kind of interesting is the state legislature did not make a differential between whether you use the personal property for TIF or not to pay debt, okay? Because we're not capturing personal property in any of our Hancock County TIFs to the best of my knowledge. Right, Deborah?
My knowledge.
So I'm kind of like, it was kind of like, why didn't you make the distinction about being paid towards debt, which, by the way, those are far and few between, because everybody knows personal property was going away. Number 4, if you label that 4, the business personal property is $1 million. You have it put into service like Sugar Foods coming up. It doesn't matter if you're in an allocation area, doesn't matter, and it will go to $50,000. So each of those, it doesn't really matter on 3 and 4, they're both going to go to 50. So that's when Mary and I chit-chatted on Thursday that the last thing I would probably really do is go beyond 5 years. The cutoff for abatement should be an absolute 5 years now. And remember, people have asked for more than that. And so, there's been 10-year requests and things like that. And now the question is, as you asked, 3 years more appropriate? Or, I'm sorry, Scott, you did. And so that's where it will come up, because they'll get there. Pool 2 is 3 to 5 years. They'll get to the 5% pretty quick.
Right, but since Sugar Foods is in an existing building, then the 300,000 is the floor.
Well, again, we're talking personal property,
Right,
not
for
the
personal
building.
property. No, I know, but.
So it's really when they put the personal property into count.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't.
It doesn't matter when the
Well,
allocation area was made. It only matters
Right,
when the business personal property is going in.
Well, no, that's what I was trying to show you. If the allocation area is made, if we have Sugar Foods come in and we create a new allocation area, then that was basically number 3, right? Because they're in an allocation area, they're putting it in, they will still get the floor. So the answer is the state said, don't depend on that personal property for your TIF, right? That's what they're saying. But they're in a pre-existing allocation area, my belief would be, right? Because they're in Buck Creek.
Right.
Yes.
And so they will have the 30% floor.
Because it's already existing.
Yes, yeah. And they're putting it in
It's the allocation area,
new.
not
They're
a
putting it,
building.
so it's number 1.
Right.
Jog my
Supposed
memory
to
on
be-
how long it takes,
They go
take
from
abatements out
300,000.
of it. How long does it take to depreciate to the floor on the type of equipment we're usually talking?
There's 4 segments, is that right? 4 segments on a personal property form, and depending on what, like, IT equipment's going to depreciate out really fast.
Right.
So they're probably in pool 1. And then when
Which
you
is
get
3 year.
And then you get down to things in manufacturing, which you hope that equipment lasts for decades, they'll be in pool 4, and their depreciation schedule will be different than what they are in pool 1. So which pool they put this in is always something the assessor needs to pay attention to, because you don't want them to depreciate manufacturing equipment out in pool 1, and you know it's going to last longer than that.
Right.
So that's.
Yeah.
Because on Scott's point, you know, ideologically, I don't even really believe in business personal property tax, like having to pay money every year to have equipment you've already been taxed on. Like, I don't like it, but we do know we have taxing units dependent on it, and so it is what it is. When it comes to abatements, you know, I had said previously I was willing to do a 3-year abatement on Walmart because to me the math made sense. You know, yes, it's a small discount, but they're still paying the lion's share. I haven't seen the math on Sugar Foods, and it's such a smaller number. I guess I could go prorate that Walmart math down to 25 million and come up with it probably, but what's the difference between the 3 and 5 year with the 30% floor on a $25 million ask? How much?
Yeah, I don't know that.
Depends on which pool they put it in.
But you just,
We have you run that.
you just made the argument for the company, not for the county, because in truth, it is a burden on my company and that company to pay tax every year on something that you've already paid
Oh,
tax on.
I know the point I'm making. That's just how I feel about it. I mean, if I was
Right,
the
so
business owner to
it
pay
really
tax
is-
every year on equipment.
That's
that-
what I said,
I don't-
yeah, the 5-year is really,
And if you go on to your last page.
But go on to the last page, and Kent, so, you know, I'm talking to CPAs right now, and a lot of them that do personal property tax returns. This is the one that's going to be the kicker on AV, and in the sustainability, we show how much personal property there is. But exempt, starting in 2027, you get up to 2 million exempt, and you don't even file.
That's gonna
Right
wipe
now, it's
out all
80.
these.
So I would beg to offer, Kent, you're probably under that, maybe not. But, you know, without disclosing confidential information on your own.
well, no, my trucks aren't considered personal property.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. So
Pay
personal
excise.
property, you are purely
Excise.
below, you may not be below the 80, which is current
Right.
and in effect for the next 2 years, being 25 and 26. But you will be under the 2 million. And we made note that on utilities, that you note there only for property in said county, if you're located in 5 counties, you can get 5 times 2 million or 10 million.
And that was always a big problem with assessing because of how they would report, and some would report they're located in multiple counties, and this is our total. And then
Bingo.
we'd have to break it down and figure out what distributes to.
It's
somewhere.
called a consolidated return
But what
on
are
personal
the two
property.
103s going to be for?
Pardon me?
What the 2 103s are going to be for?
Well, probably one will be if you're in a TIF, if you're not in a TIF.
Yeah, but they're
Then if you know, it may start breaking down, you may have to have a Form 103 by county if you want to take advantage of the 2 million as opposed to a consolidated return.
Right.
Because yes, you and I are used to consolidated returns. So basically DLGF said, yeah, we're working on these forms, but we're probably 3 or 4 months out.
So the $2 million.
It's a nightmare.
That they will start with in 27, is that their gross value at the time of purchase? $2 million, how does, where does the $2 million plug in?
Subject to the form, I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
It is the gross value that you start with. Like we heard from Kent, he will not file personal property tax returns. His business will not do that in the future.
And since that goes through the assessor's office, is it still considered self-assessment? And if they want to just say, hey, we're under 2 million, we're not filing?
Remember, it is self-assessment.
Self-assessment.
So you just open the multiple cans of worms that are coming to a theater near you.
Because there is some auditing done by the assessor, but it's more comparing last year's filing to this year, and if they see a big change, what happened?
They put on their SB1 that the cost of the manufacturing equipment will be 25 million and that the assessed value will be 10 million. So is it in year one when your equipment gets, I mean, maybe that's an indication of how they plan to pool it. Maybe that's an indication of how much
They get depreciation in year one. It drops to 40 the first year, is that right? And then it goes back up to 60?
I think it's 4256 and then goes
Yeah,
from
they
there.
start out with a
But they did slip it in that it will depreciate fairly quickly. So Mary, I'm thinking it's going to be, other than they did put on IT will be the 1 to 3. I think the other one will be pool 2. I think and so that is where, the abatement form could also use some improvement. Please indicate what, the break down your expected value of your property by pool.
These guys actually did on the SB1, it breaks down 11 million manufacturing processing, 3.1 manufacturing packaging, 1 million raw material handling equipment, 500K. So they actually did break down. I assume those are classifications on the pools.
I did read that because I looked at it, Keely, but I don't think I don't think you can absolutely make that conclusion. We need you to ask.
I have a question that probably Mary can answer, or you can, Greg. I was a little concerned about how, not criticizing, but how the depreciation is done. Because basically they fill out a form and they turn it into the assessor, but nobody ever goes out and checks to see what keeps them accountable for the information that they're turning in to us.
They're supposed to provide an equipment list with their first filing, so you see what's generating that number in that pool. And then the next year's filing, if you see they had $1 million on line 1 of pool 1, and then next year they have 500,000 in line 2, because it goes down for 1 year, of that same reporting that was in line 1 the year before, what happened to the other 500,000? So that's the kind of things that assessors, when we're auditing personal property filings, that's what we're looking for, is something jumped. But we're not seeing like they paid X number of dollars for a particular.
Well, shall we have Greg run the numbers for Sugar Foods at 3-year and 5-year?
Well, I'd like to, number one, if you want to do that, that's fine. We can do that. Not a problem. We do need to ask them to put it in the pools. Give us an estimate.
Be real numbers, you're right.
Yeah, and DLGF did say they are putting in computers to kind of review and audit some of because they're self-assessed. But we brought up 1 or 2 issues they said they didn't really take into account, and they may take that into account as they're reviewing a couple more personal property returns, especially on utilities too. And so if you're under the IURC and you're a utility like AES, you do not get the 2 million. Okay. So if you're regulated by the IURC, so the good news is if we got, something of a heavy electric user, and they were non-9-star, there would not be a reduction there. So that's another interesting point. So keep these because, they are just trying to figure out how to implement this.
I'll say good luck to the assessor.
If you're saying that to do the
says she's gonna
calculation
go
Jim asked
after
for,
all
you would
that.
need to know the pools.
That's her
I mean, I think
campaign
one of two
slogan.
things has to happen. Either you have to, either our HEDC friends need to get that to you in time to get it here before next Wednesday, or you could just show us a best case and worst case. like
Oh,
a
I'm
pool
sorry,
one
are
and
you
pool four.
considering it next Wednesday?
Well,
I thought that's-
the declaratory.
I guess we'll be voting on the declaratory next week.
Declaratory.
Okay.
Possibly.
Yeah,
If you could just show a best and worst case.
Well, is up, let's ask.
The different pools, according to DLGF. Pool 1 is federal tax life of 1 to 4 years. Pool 2 is 5 to 8, 3, 9 to 12, 4, 13, and longer.
That's
Right.
your life expectancy.
Ask which pool.
Yeah, right.
Get their equipment put in the appropriate pool.
Well,
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
could let
just give
Greg
us
know.
an estimate, it'll be part in 1 and part in 2, more than likely.
yeah, make sure that Greg,
Yeah.
it's what Greg's saying he
Yeah.
wants to happen.
Okay,
That's it.
Thank you.
okay.
There
We're
you go,
adjourned.
Mary. At this point, again, subject to SB2.
That was helpful, very
We-
helpful
we-
for me, thank you.
Okay, we are adjourned and.
Not yet, I got one request.
No.
We've got
One
multiple things.
request.
We got to vote on the minutes.
I move we approve minutes for August 6th.
Second.
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 Oh,
Second.
third it.
Who seconded it?
Everybody.
Robin seconded it. We all voted yes. Okay.
And then now we have auditor business. And under auditor business, we have a resolution we need to deal with. Judge Davis, in his application to the state, has been contacting and getting on the case of me, Bill, and Scott Banky. That the council needs to get this resolution done because he needs our support that we approved it and all that. And we have a resolution before me, for us to sign.
What's the resolution for?
It's a resolution to appoint a juvenile court magistrate judge for Hancock County.
Do we have a copy of
Have
this?
anything on
Yeah.
that.
Well,
That's the one we did about
We've
2
already,
months ago.
we've already approved it.
We've already approved
We
it.
just need to.
You need to sign it.
Sign the
Just need to
resolution.
sign it.
Sign the
Oh, that's all. It's
resolution.
just a signature you're wanting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Done, yeah.
Okay, if you're gonna sign that, can I ask for this request? So for the opioid disbursement monies, the grant that we're going through right now, the commissioners made a recommendation that they approved a company called Neighborhood Development Associates to assist with the application and the,
Grant writing.
grant writing to that process in
the
an amount
opioid
not
fund.
to exceed $10,000 to come out of opioid unrestricted. Would you grant that for the commissioners, the approval to
I move we approve.
I
use
would-
unrestricted money, 10,000?
I'll make a motion to authorize the commissioners to expend up to $10,000 in professional services from unrestricted opioid funds.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. We're
Any other
adjourned.
auditor business?
Yes. We kind of already.
Keely and Jim.
All I need is Kent to sign this before you go. You just forgot to sign
And
it.
then-
The township.
And the township,
The township CIPs.
Oh, crap. Oh,
Yeah, I
I thought
wondered about
I didn't know
those.
that was my business. I thought it was on
No,
your
it's-
business.
It's on their business.
Yeah, it's your business.
Just acknowledging,
Just acknowledge
Yeah,
that
that
you've
we-
seen it and reviewed it so that
Okay.
we can put that in the minutes.
so we've received Green Township and Vernon Township only. All right.
Yeah.
Put that in the minutes. We received it.
Acknowledge it, seen it, got it.
We're adjourned.
Or are we done that?
Third
We're
time.
adjourned, but can I throw something else out?
Required to
Hey,
by
Jim,
Indiana